The Secret to True Happiness. A Tale of Heaven and Hell. Have you ever wondered what truly makes a place heavenly or hellish? Imagine two places that look almost identical, yet one is filled with laughter and joy while the other is consumed by gloom and hunger. What could be the key difference? Dive into this intriguing story to discover how the way we treat each other can make all the difference in the world. A person was taken on a tour of heaven and hell. When he was shown hell, where demons are imprisoned, he was shocked by the scene. A lavish feast was laid out before everyone, yet there was no music or laughter. Everyone sat at the table looking gloomy, without a trace of joy. He noticed that on their left hand was a fork and on their right, a knife, each 4 feet long, making it impossible to cut or pick up the food, so everyone was starving. Then he went up to heaven. The scene was much like in hell, with equally long forks and knives. However, the residents of heaven were constantly singing and laughing. At first, he was puzzled, but then he understood why. In hell, people only cared about themselves and shared nothing, resulting in everyone starving. In heaven, people helped each other. One person would feed another, ensuring no one went hungry. This was how helping others also meant helping oneself. This story of heaven and hell teaches us two important lessons about the nature of happiness and misery. In heaven, people are happy because they care for one another. They understand that by helping others, they also help themselves. Even with the same long forks and knives, they find joy and satisfaction by using them to feed each other. This act of kindness and cooperation creates a community where everyone thrives. It shows that true happiness comes from selflessness and mutual support. When we work together and look out for each other, we build a world filled with laughter, music, and abundance. On the other hand, the scene in hell is a powerful reminder of the consequences of selfishness. Despite having the same lavish feast, the people in hell are starving and miserable. Their unwillingness to help one another traps them in a cycle of suffering. This highlights how selfishness can lead to our own downfall. By focusing only on ourselves, we create an environment of despair and loneliness. The long forks and knives, which could easily be tools of cooperation, become symbols of isolation and starvation. This story shows that selfish behavior not only harms others but also deprives us of the joy and fulfillment that come from connecting with and supporting those around us. In our daily lives, we face countless opportunities to choose between selfishness and selflessness. This story encourages us to reflect on our actions and their impact on others. It reminds us that by fostering a spirit of cooperation and kindness, we can transform our surroundings into a place of happiness and well-being. Whether in our families, workplaces, or communities, the simple act of helping each other can create a ripple effect, spreading joy and making the world a better place for everyone. So let's take a lesson from the residents of heaven and strive to help one another, ensuring that no one goes hungry and that everyone finds joy in the feast of life. 2. The Honest Seed, a tale of true leadership and integrity. Have you ever wondered what qualities truly define a great leader? Is it their ability to show off beautiful results, or is it something deeper and more genuine? Dive into the story of a wise king who, through a simple test, reveals the incredible power of honesty and the true essence of character. This tale will make you rethink the value of integrity and show why what's inside matters far more than what's on the surface. Long ago, in a certain country, there lived a wise and kind king who was deeply respected by everyone. The king was getting old and he was worried because he had no successor. One day he gathered his advisors and announced, "I will choose a child from the kingdom who is honest to be my adopted child." He then instructed his advisors to bring all the children in the kingdom together and handed each child a flower seed, saying, "If anyone can take care of this seed and grow beautiful flowers from it, that person will be my successor." The children took their seeds and started to plant and nurture them. They watered, fertilized, and weeded diligently. Among them was a child who cared for his seed very carefully, but despite changing the soil, his seed did not sprout. As the day to present the flowers to the king approached, his seed still lay dormant. When the king visited each child to see their flowers, he was always smiling with satisfaction. When he came to this child, he saw tears on his face and a pot of soil in his hands. The king asked, "Why have you brought just a pot of soil?" The child explained how he had taken care of it and changed the soil, yet the seed never sprouted. He also confessed that he thought it was punishment for once stealing apples from someone else's garden. The king was overjoyed and took the child's hand, saying, "You are very honest, just the person I have been looking for." The others were puzzled and asked, "Why would you choose the child with just a pot of soil as your successor?" The king laughed and explained, "Because the seeds I gave to all the children were boiled and couldn't grow." Hearing this, the children holding beautiful flower pots all bowed their heads in shame. Conclusion. The story of the wise king and the flower seeds is a timeless reminder of the importance of honesty and true character. The king's unique method of choosing a successor was not based on who could produce the most beautiful flowers, but on who displayed honesty and integrity. The child who brought only a pot of soil, despite his best efforts, demonstrated the very qualities the king valued most. In our everyday lives, we often face situations where it might seem easier to take shortcuts or present a false image to achieve our goals. This story teaches us that true success is not measured by outward appearances or temporary achievements, but by our inner values and how we conduct ourselves when faced with challenges. The king's test was designed to see beyond the surface and identify the child who would be honest and genuine even when it was difficult. The children who brought blooming flowers appeared successful, but their success was built on deceit. They were more concerned with impressing the king than being honest. This reflects a common scenario in real life where people sometimes prioritize looking good over doing the right thing. However, as this story beautifully illustrates, genuine honesty and integrity ultimately prevail. The child who admitted his failure and confessed to a past mistake demonstrated courage and a commitment to the truth. His actions showed that he valued honesty over personal gain, making him the ideal choice for a leader. This is a powerful lesson for all of us. Being truthful and maintaining our integrity is more important than achieving success through dishonest means. In conclusion, the king's choice underscores the timeless principle that honesty is the best policy. True leadership and greatness come from within, and it is our character that defines who we are. By valuing and practicing honesty in our lives, we can build a foundation of trust and respect, leading to genuine and lasting success. 3. The power of patience and flexibility. A lesson from an ancient bridge. Have you ever wondered what it truly means to be patient and flexible? Imagine a narrow wooden bridge, a scholar, and a series of unexpected encounters. This captivating story from long ago reveals powerful lessons about yielding to others and the strength found in understanding and flexibility. Join us as we delve into this thought-provoking tale and discover the wisdom it holds for our daily lives. There was a scholar who stepped onto a narrow wooden bridge and saw a pregnant woman approaching from the opposite direction. Due to the bridge's limited space, he stepped back to let her pass first. After she crossed, he started across again but was only halfway when he encountered a woodcutter returning from the forest. Without saying anything, he quietly stepped back to give way to the woodcutter. On his third attempt, the scholar hesitated to cross the bridge until everyone else had passed and he was alone. However, as he nearly reached the other side, a farmer with a cart began crossing from the opposite direction. This time, the scholar didn't want to turn back, so he took off his hat and respectfully asked the farmer, "Excuse me, sir. As you can see, I'm almost across. Could you please let me pass before you?" The farmer disagreed and glared at the scholar, saying, "Can't you see I'm pushing a cart?" So, they began arguing loudly, neither willing to yield. Just then, a boat approached below the bridge with an elderly monk aboard. Both men appealed to the monk to mediate their dispute. After hearing the story, the monk clasped his hands, chanted briefly, and asked the farmer, "Are you in a hurry?" "Yes, it's almost dark and I still need to get to the market," the farmer replied. "Why waste time arguing here when you could simply step back a few steps, allowing this gentleman to cross, and then quickly continue to the market?" the monk suggested. Hearing this, the farmer fell silent. The monk then turned to the scholar with a smile. "Why don't you yield the way to this farmer? Is it because you're only a few steps from crossing?" The scholar replied, "Before this farmer, I had already yielded to several others. If I keep doing this, I don't know when I'll ever cross." "But you still haven't crossed yet," the monk pointed out. "You've already made way for others. Why not do so once more for this farmer? It shows your character. Why not do it?" Ashamed, the scholar realized the wisdom in the monk's words. Conclusion. In the end, the story of the scholar and the bridge teaches us two essential lessons about life: the value of patience and the importance of flexibility. Patience is a virtue that often gets overlooked in our fast-paced world. The scholar's initial actions of stepping back for the pregnant woman and the woodcutter show his respect and consideration for others. By yielding, he avoids unnecessary conflict and demonstrates a level of understanding that many of us might strive for. This part of the story reminds us that sometimes stepping aside and allowing others to go first is not a sign of weakness but a mark of inner strength and patience. The second lesson, flexibility, is equally important. The argument between the scholar and the farmer highlights how rigid thinking can lead to conflict. The farmer's initial refusal to step back, despite the scholar's plea, shows how stubbornness can escalate a simple situation. The monk's wisdom in resolving their dispute by suggesting the farmer step back a few steps underlines the importance of being flexible. This flexibility does not only resolve conflicts but also demonstrates understanding and compassion. Furthermore, the monk's advice to the scholar to yield once more, despite his earlier efforts, adds depth to this lesson. It teaches that even when we feel we have done enough, sometimes a little more patience and flexibility can make a significant difference. It shows that true character is displayed not by how often we assert our rights, but by how often we consider others. In conclusion, this simple yet profound story from the bridge encourages us to be patient and flexible in our daily lives. It teaches us that by yielding to others, we not only avoid conflict, but also build a more understanding and harmonious world. These qualities are timeless and universally appreciated, making them valuable lessons for everyone, regardless of the era or culture.
If you like this video, please comment 1, and if you don't, comment 2. Your feedback means a lot to us. Thank you for your valuable time.
4. A blessing in disguise. The unexpected miracles of misfortune. Have you ever faced a setback that seemed devastating, only to later realize it was a blessing in disguise? Our story today follows an explorer and his porter on a wild adventure where unexpected misfortunes turn out to be life-saving miracles. Through their journey, we uncover powerful lessons about faith, perspective, and the hidden blessings in our toughest challenges. Join us to discover how a lost finger and a deep pit became the keys to their survival. An explorer brought a porter along to explore a wild area. While cutting down a coconut tree, the explorer carelessly chopped off one of his fingers. The porter exclaimed, "Wow, God is about to bless you." Hearing this, the explorer got very angry and pushed the porter into a deep pit, then continued on alone. The next day, the explorer was captured by the local tribe. As they were about to execute him as a sacrifice to their gods, someone noticed his missing finger and thought that an incomplete sacrifice would bring bad luck, so they released him. The explorer hurried back to the pit to rescue the porter and apologized to him. "There's no need to apologize. Your pushing me down here was also a blessing from God," the porter said. "Why do you say that?" the explorer asked, surprised. "Because if I had continued with you, I might have been the one sacrificed to the tribe." Conclusion. The tale of the explorer and his porter leaves us with profound lessons that resonate deeply within our everyday lives. The explorer's loss of a finger, initially perceived as a terrible misfortune, ultimately saved his life. The porter's fall into a pit, an act of anger and abandonment, turned out to be his shield against a dreadful fate. These unexpected twists remind us that life's adversities often carry hidden blessings, waiting to be revealed. In our own lives, it's easy to become overwhelmed by setbacks and challenges. We might lose a job, face a health scare, or encounter a major disappointment that makes us feel as though the world is against us. However, like the explorer and the porter, we must remember that these moments of hardship can sometimes be the universe's way of steering us away from even greater troubles or guiding us towards unforeseen opportunities. This story also highlights the importance of maintaining a positive perspective and having faith in the bigger picture. The porter's unwavering belief that everything happens for a reason allowed him to see his situation not as a curse, but as a divine blessing. This mindset didn't just help him cope with his immediate predicament, it shaped his entire outlook on life. It's a powerful reminder that our attitude towards adversity can greatly influence our ability to overcome it. In American culture, we often celebrate the idea of resilience and the triumph of the human spirit. The explorer and the porter embody these qualities, showing us that even in the face of danger and despair, hope and faith can lead us to safety and enlightenment. Their story encourages us to look for the silver linings in our own struggles and to trust that in time, the reasons for our hardships will become clear. As we navigate through life's unpredictable journey, let us carry with us the wisdom of the explorer and the porter. Let us remember that every setback has the potential to become a setup for something greater, and that within every challenge lies the seed of a blessing in disguise. By embracing this perspective, we can transform our approach to life's difficulties and discover the hidden miracles within them. 5. Discover the power of growth, a tale of two seeds. Have you ever wondered what holds you back from reaching your full potential? Imagine two seeds, each with a different mindset, planted in the same plot of land. One chooses to embrace growth and face challenges head-on, while the other hides in fear of the unknown. The outcome of their choices reveals powerful lessons about the importance of taking risks and the consequences of letting fear dictate our actions. Join us as we explore this thought-provoking story and uncover how embracing growth can lead to extraordinary rewards. Two seeds of the same type were planted in a plot of land. One seed thought, "This soil is so rich, I must sprout and keep growing through spring, summer, fall, and winter to see many beautiful scenes." As a result, it worked hard to grow continuously. By the next fall, it had become a large tree with lush branches and leaves. The other seed thought, If I put down roots in this soil, I might hit the hard rock underneath, which could hurt my delicate nerves. If I sprout, a snail might eat me. If I flower and bear fruit, kids might come and pick them. Maybe it's easier and safer just to stay here underground. So, it stayed curled up inside the soil. One day, a chicken came looking for food, dug up the soil, saw the seed, pecked at it a few times, and then swallowed it. Conclusion: the rewards of growth and the pitfalls of fear. In the story of the two seeds, we see a clear contrast between the outcomes of embracing growth and succumbing to fear. The seed that chose to grow faced many potential risks: hard rocks, snails, and the possibility of being picked. Yet, by taking these risks, it grew into a magnificent tree, full of life and experiencing the beauty of the changing seasons. This seed symbolizes the power of growth and the rewards that come with it. It teaches us that while the path to growth may be challenging, the benefits far outweigh the risks. By stepping out of our comfort zones and pushing ourselves, we can achieve greatness and see the world from a new perspective. On the other hand, the seed that decided to stay underground represents the pitfalls of fear. It worried about every possible danger and chose to stay safe by not sprouting at all. However, its decision to avoid risks led to an unexpected and unfortunate end. It was dug up and eaten by a chicken. This outcome illustrates that avoiding risks can sometimes lead to worse consequences than facing them. By allowing fear to control our actions, we can miss out on opportunities and never realize our full potential. This story encourages us to reflect on our own lives. Are we like the seed that chose to grow, embracing challenges and seeking opportunities? Or are we like the seed that stayed hidden, letting fear hold us back? It's a reminder that growth requires courage and that the fear of failure should not prevent us from pursuing our dreams. By choosing to grow and take risks, we open ourselves up to new experiences and opportunities. We learn, we adapt, and we thrive. In contrast, letting fear dictate our actions can lead to a stagnant and unfulfilled life. So let us be inspired by the seed that grew into a tall, vibrant tree and strive to reach our own full potential, regardless of the challenges we might face along the way. 6. The Tale of the Fisherman and the Sea Turtle. A lesson in true love and freedom. Have you ever wondered if holding on too tightly could push someone away, or if letting go could actually bring them closer? Dive into the heartwarming story of a fisherman and a sea turtle to discover how true love and freedom can transform relationships in the most unexpected ways. This touching tale will make you rethink how you care for those you love and how sometimes the best way to keep someone close is to let them go. A fisherman once caught a sea turtle and brought it home to care for it as if it were his own child. However, the turtle wouldn't eat or drink or move. It just lay there crying all day. My heart is out in the big ocean, where my home is, where my children are, where my joy is. Please let me go. The sea turtle pleaded with the fisherman. The fisherman didn't want to let it go because he was fond of it. But after a long time, seeing the beloved turtle becoming weaker, the fisherman's heart cooled and he decided to release it back to the sea. One day, suddenly, there was a knock at the door. When he opened it, he found the turtle he had released the previous year. "You have found happiness. Why have you returned?" "My happiness is because of you. I cannot forget you," the sea turtle said. "Well, go on. As long as you are happy, that's all that matters. Don't come to visit me anymore," the fisherman said compassionately. The sea turtle left reluctantly, but a month later it returned. "Oh, what does this mean? When I wanted to keep you forever, I tried everything but could not move you. When I let you go, you came back," the fisherman said. In the end, The story of the fisherman and the sea turtle teaches us profound lessons about love, freedom, and the bonds we share with others. The fisherman's initial desire to keep the turtle close was driven by affection, but it soon became clear that true love sometimes means letting go. The turtle's unhappiness and decline in health mirrored what many of us experience when we feel trapped or constrained, even by those who care for us. When the fisherman released the turtle back into the ocean, it was an act of selfless love and understanding. He put the turtle's needs and happiness above his own desires. This decision highlights the importance of respecting the independence and well-being of those we care about. It shows that love isn't about possession or control, but about compassion and respect for another's freedom. Surprisingly, the turtle returned, demonstrating that the bonds formed through respect and freedom can be stronger and more meaningful than those forged by force or constraint. This act of returning symbolizes gratitude and a deep connection that goes beyond physical presence. The turtle's visits were voluntary, driven by a genuine affection and appreciation for the fisherman's kindness. This reinforces the idea that relationships based on mutual respect and freedom are more enduring and fulfilling. The fisherman's compassionate response to the turtle's return also teaches us about the nature of true happiness. He understood that the turtle's happiness was paramount, and he didn't want to interfere with that, even if it meant not seeing the turtle again. This final act of letting the turtle go, without expecting anything in return, underscores the selfless nature of true love. Ultimately, the story encourages us to evaluate our own relationships and consider whether we are nurturing them with freedom and respect. It reminds us that sometimes the most loving thing we can do is to let go and allow those we care about to find their own happiness. True love is not about holding on tightly, but about giving the freedom to grow and thrive. 7. Why Socrates refused to retaliate, a lesson in wisdom and dignity. Imagine being attacked and choosing not to fight back. What would drive someone to make that choice? The great philosopher Socrates found himself in such a situation, and his response was nothing short of extraordinary. Why did he refuse to retaliate? What lesson did he want to teach? Dive into this intriguing story to uncover Socrates' powerful message about responding with wisdom and maintaining dignity in the face of conflict. Curious to learn more? Let's explore the surprising wisdom of Socrates. One day, the great Greek philosopher Socrates was leisurely walking and chatting with his old friend. Suddenly, a young man who seemed very angry appeared, hit Socrates on the leg with a stick, and then ran away. Seeing this, his friend immediately turned to go after the young man. However, the philosopher stopped him, advising against seeking revenge. "Aren't you afraid of him?" his friend asked, puzzled. "Do you think I'm afraid of him?" "No, there's no reason for me to be afraid," Socrates replied. His friend, still skeptical, questioned, "Then why don't you hit back when he hits you?" Socrates laughed and responded, "My friend, are you being silly? If a donkey kicked you, would you really kick it back?" Conclusion. In today's fast-paced and often confrontational world, the wisdom of Socrates offers a timeless lesson that is more relevant than ever. When faced with aggression or provocation, our natural instinct might be to retaliate or defend ourselves. However, Socrates' story reminds us that true strength lies in choosing wisdom over anger and dignity over conflict. When the young man struck Socrates, the philosopher had every opportunity to react with anger or seek revenge. Instead, he chose to remain calm and composed, demonstrating remarkable self-control. By refusing to hit back, Socrates showed that reacting impulsively to aggression only drags us down to the level of the aggressor. His response teaches us the importance of maintaining our inner peace and not allowing others' negative actions to dictate our behavior. Moreover, Socrates' analogy of the donkey is a powerful reminder that not all battles are worth fighting. Engaging in petty conflicts only wastes our energy and diminishes our dignity. By comparing the young man's actions to a donkey's kick, Socrates emphasized that responding to foolish behavior with more foolishness is senseless. Instead, he encourages us to rise above such provocations and handle them with grace and maturity. In our daily lives, we often encounter situations where we feel wronged or attacked, whether in personal relationships, at work, or in public. The lesson from Socrates' story is clear. We have the power to choose our response. By opting for wisdom and dignity, we can diffuse conflicts, preserve our self-respect, and set a positive example for others. Socrates' approach is not about being passive or avoiding confrontation altogether. It's about being thoughtful and discerning in our reactions. It's about recognizing that our true power lies in our ability to control our responses, not in matching every blow with another blow. As we navigate the challenges of life, let us remember Socrates' lesson. By choosing to respond with wisdom and dignity, we not only elevate ourselves but also contribute to a more peaceful and respectful world. If you find these stories inspiring and they motivate you to take action, please comment 9. If not, comment 0. Your feedback means a lot to us. Thank you for your valuable time. 8. When knowledge fails, the scholar's unexpected lesson. What happens when a highly educated scholar finds himself in a life or death situation? Does his knowledge help him, or does he rely on someone else's unexpected skills? This intriguing story of a scholar and a boatman explores the true value of practical knowledge and teaches an important lesson in humility and respect. Want to find out who the real hero is? Keep reading to discover the surprising twist. Once there was a scholar who was crossing a river by boat. While on the boat, he struck up a casual conversation with the boatman. "Do you understand literature?" the scholar asked. "No," replied the boatman. "What about history, zoology, or botany?" The boatman shook his head again. The scholar mocked him, saying, "You don't know anything. You're just a simpleton." Soon after, dark clouds gathered and the sky turned ominously dark. The wind howled and the boat rocked violently as if it was about to capsize, leaving the scholar pale and terrified. At that moment, the boatman asked, "Do you know how to swim?" "No, I know a lot, but I don't know how to swim," the scholar answered. Right after he spoke, a wave flipped the boat over and the scholar screamed in panic, hoping someone would come to his rescue. After the boatman saved him and brought him to shore, he said with a smile, "You claim I am useless because I don't know the things you do, but you who claim to know everything can't swim. That makes me more capable than you in this situation. Seems like you're the real simpleton here." Conclusion. The story of the scholar and the boatman is a timeless reminder that true wisdom often comes from unexpected places. The scholar, with his vast knowledge of literature, history, and science, initially feels superior to the simple boatman. However, when faced with a life-threatening situation, his scholarly knowledge proves useless, and he must rely on the boatman's practical skill of swimming to survive. This tale highlights two important lessons. First, it underscores the value of practical knowledge. While academic learning is important, it is not always applicable in real-world situations. The boatman's ability to swim, a skill the scholar deemed irrelevant, ultimately becomes the most valuable asset in the crisis. This serves as a reminder that we should respect all forms of knowledge and skills, recognizing that each has its own place and value. Second, the story teaches us about humility and respect. The scholar's arrogance blinds him to the value of the boatman's knowledge. It is only when his life is in danger that he realizes his mistake. This lesson is particularly relevant in today's society, where we often judge others based on their education, profession, or social status. The story encourages us to remain humble and open-minded, understanding that everyone has something valuable to offer. In our daily lives, we encounter people with different backgrounds and skills. This story reminds us to appreciate and respect these differences. Whether it's the mechanic who fixes our car, the farmer who grows our food, or the teacher who educates our children, everyone contributes to our well-being in ways we might not immediately recognize. By valuing practical knowledge and showing humility and respect, we can build stronger, more inclusive communities. In conclusion, the tale of the scholar and the boatman is a powerful lesson in the importance of practical skills, humility, and respect. It encourages us to appreciate the diverse forms of knowledge that exist in our world and to recognize the contributions of all individuals, regardless of their background or education. 9. The hidden power of being unique. A tale of the useless tree. Have you ever wondered if being different could be your greatest strength? Imagine stumbling upon a massive tree that stands untouched, its branches wide and its trunk thick, yet no one sees its worth. Why? Because it's deemed useless. But what if this very uselessness is the secret to its incredible longevity? Join us as we dive into the story of a master carpenter and his apprentice and discover the surprising wisdom of the useless tree. You might just find that being unique is the most valuable trait of all. Once, a master carpenter and his apprentice were walking through Vienne in the state of Tse when they came across a large crowd performing rituals under a massive tree. This tree was enormous, its branches wide enough to shade thousands of chariots, and it would take 100 feet of rope to measure around its trunk. However, the master carpenter didn't seem interested in the tree at all. Curious, the apprentice asked, "Master, since I started learning carpentry with you, I have never seen such fine wood. Why do you pay no attention to it and just keep looking ahead?" The master replied, "Forget about it. It's just useless wood. If we use it to build a boat, it would be too heavy. If we make a coffin, it will rot quickly. If we make household tools, they would be too flimsy to hold anything. If used for doors or windows, it's too light and porous. If made into beams, it would be eaten by termites. This tree can't be turned into anything useful, and that's why it has lived so long and grown so large." That night, the carpenter had a dream where the tree appeared and spoke to him. "What do you compare me to? Trees with beautiful patterns are cut down by people to make tools. Fruit trees like oranges and lemons are chopped after a few seasons. They are useful to people, but because of that, their lives are short. You think I am useless, but that's what makes me the most useful to myself. If I had any apparent use to you, I wouldn't have lived so long and wouldn't have had the chance to survive until now." Conclusion. The story of the useless tree teaches us profound lessons about value, individuality, and longevity. The massive tree, deemed worthless by the master carpenter, reveals a hidden truth. Its perceived uselessness is its greatest asset. This tree survived and thrived precisely because it didn't conform to conventional standards of usefulness. In our lives, we often feel pressured to fit in, to be useful in ways society expects us to be. We are encouraged to follow the well-trodden path, to achieve success in familiar ways. But this story challenges us to rethink these notions. It invites us to embrace our unique qualities, even if they don't fit the traditional mold. Being different, like the tree, can sometimes mean we are free from the pressures and expectations that shorten the lives of those who are constantly trying to meet external standards. The tree's longevity is a powerful metaphor for the benefits of nonconformity. By not being chopped down to serve common purposes, it lived longer and grew stronger. Similarly, when we stop trying to fit into predefined roles and instead focus on what makes us unique, we can find our true strength and purpose. We can lead lives that are not just long in years, but rich in fulfillment and authenticity. In American culture, where individuality and innovation are highly valued, this message resonates deeply. The story encourages us to celebrate our differences, to see our unique traits not as flaws but as strengths. It reminds us that there is immense power in being ourselves, even if the world doesn't immediately recognize our worth. So, as we reflect on the tale of the useless tree, let's remember to cherish our individuality. Let's find courage in our uniqueness and understand that our true value lies not in how others perceive us, but in how we embrace and live out our distinct qualities. In doing so, we, like the tree, can stand tall and thrive in our own unique way. 10. Discover the treasure in your own backyard. Have you ever wondered if the true riches you're seeking are already within your reach? Al Horford's quest for diamonds led him on a journey far from home, but the real treasure was closer than he ever imagined. Join us as we explore a tale that teaches the importance of valuing what you have and the dangers of blind ambition. This story might just change the way you look at your own life and the opportunities around you. A spiritual man visited and told Al Horford, "If you had a diamond as big as your thumb, you could buy all the land around here. If you had a diamond mine, with all the wealth it brought, you could even help your child become an emperor." Thinking about the diamond's value, he couldn't sleep all night. The next morning, he asked the spiritual man to come back and show him where he could find such diamonds. The spiritual man said, "You should look in a stream that flows from a very high mountain. The diamond is mixed in the sand at the bottom of this stream." So, Al Horford sold all his farmland and set out to find the treasure. He searched and searched, but never found it, and eventually died on the coast of Spain. The person who bought Al Horford's house went to the small stream in the backyard one day and saw something shining in the sand. He dug up the shining stone and took it home, placing it on his kitchen shelf. Some time later, the spiritual man visited again and saw the shining stone on the shelf. He said, "This is the diamond. Has Al Horford returned?" "No, Al Horford has not returned yet. I found this stone in the backyard," the homeowner replied. Conclusion. Al Horford's story is a powerful reminder of two important life lessons: appreciating what you have and being cautious about blind pursuits. Al's journey began with a desire for wealth, fueled by the spiritual man's words about diamonds. His dream of finding a diamond so valuable that it could change his life completely made him restless. He sold everything he had and embarked on a quest that ultimately led to his demise. This story resonates with many of us today. We often believe that happiness and success lie somewhere else, just out of reach. We may think that if we had more money, a better job, or lived in a different place, our lives would be perfect. However, Al's story shows us that this isn't always true. The person who bought Al's house discovered a diamond in the very stream that Al had overlooked. The treasure Al was searching for was right there in his own backyard all along. The lesson here is clear. Before you embark on a search for something better, take a good look at what you already have. Your own diamonds might be right under your nose, hidden in the everyday things you take for granted. Your skills, relationships, and current opportunities could be the very treasures that lead to your success and happiness. Moreover, Al's fate warns us about the dangers of blind ambition. Chasing dreams without careful thought and planning can lead to loss and regret. It's essential to balance ambition with wisdom. Striving for more is not wrong, but it should not come at the expense of everything else in your life. In conclusion, Al Horford's story teaches us to appreciate our current blessings and to be mindful of the paths we choose to pursue our dreams. Sometimes the real treasure is closer than we think, and finding contentment in what we have can lead to a more fulfilling life.
If you like this video, please comment 1. And if you don't, comment 2. Your feedback means a lot to us. Thank you for your valuable time.
11. How a Thief Found Enlightenment. A Tale of Transformation. Have you ever wondered if someone can truly change? This intriguing story follows a thief who couldn't stop stealing, yet sought enlightenment. Through a wise monk's unexpected approach, he discovered a surprising truth about desires and self-realization. Join us as we explore how this thief's journey reveals powerful lessons about transformation and the true nature of enlightenment. One day, a well-known monk's temple was broken into by a thief. The thief asked the monk, "Can I still achieve enlightenment? But first I need to be clear about something. I am a thief and I can't stop stealing, so please don't ask me to quit because it's impossible. I've tried many times to give up this shameful job, but all attempts have been useless and I don't want to waste any more time on something I can't do. Stealing is my life. It's who I am. Except for this, I will do anything you say." "Why are you worried about being a thief? Has anyone talked to you about this before?" the monk asked. The thief replied, "Every time I visit a temple and meet the monks, they all say I need to stop." The monk smiled and said, "Maybe you came here to steal, otherwise why would they care about you being a thief? I don't." The thief, pleased, responded, "That's great, you're very wise. Now I can become your disciple." So the monk accepted him. "You can go now, do whatever you like, but there's one condition. You must achieve enlightenment. You can enter any house, take anything you want. Those things are yours. Do what you want, I don't care, but you must fully realize enlightenment." The thief didn't realize he was caught in a trap and continued, "If that's the case, I'll give it a try." 3 weeks later, the thief returned to the monk. "If I achieve enlightenment, I won't be able to steal anymore. But if I steal, enlightenment will disappear, and I'll be in a terrible situation." The monk calmly replied, "I don't care about those things. Don't mention that you're a thief and you're stealing anymore. Now it's up to you to decide. If you want enlightenment, you must be determined. If not, then you must make your final decision." The thief was in agony. "But now it's so hard to make a decision. I've seen it. It's beautiful. No matter what you say, I can't give it up." After thinking for a while, he continued, "One evening, the first time I broke into the imperial palace, I opened all the treasure chests. If I stole them, I could have become the richest person, but I always tried to maintain enlightenment. When I was enlightened, the desire disappeared, and the gold and jewels in front of me seemed no different from ordinary rocks and sand. But when I lost my enlightenment, the treasures reappeared. So many times, I even ignored them because everything I did was foolish. They were just rocks after all. Why should I lose myself over a piece of rock? In the end, I decided, they are worthless." Conclusion. In the story of the thief and the monk, we see a profound journey of transformation that offers valuable lessons for all of us. At the beginning, the thief is convinced that he cannot stop stealing. It is part of his identity, something he believes he cannot change. He approaches the monk, hoping to find enlightenment without giving up his life of theft. Surprisingly, the monk does not ask him to stop stealing. Instead, he tells the thief to achieve enlightenment first and continue his ways if he must. This unconventional advice sets the thief on a path of self-discovery. As he strives for enlightenment, he starts to see the world differently. When he experiences moments of enlightenment, his desires for material wealth vanish and treasures appear as mere rocks and sand. This shift in perception is significant. It shows that true enlightenment transforms one's desires and values from within, rather than through external pressure or forced change. Over time, the thief realizes a crucial truth. He cannot be both enlightened and a thief. The inner conflict becomes unbearable, forcing him to make a choice. Enlightenment brings clarity and peace, but stealing brings turmoil and dissatisfaction. Ultimately, the thief decides that the spiritual fulfillment he gains from enlightenment far outweighs the temporary satisfaction of stealing. He sees the foolishness of his past actions and understands that true wealth is found in inner peace and self-realization, not in material possessions. This story teaches us that real change comes from within. The thief's transformation was not due to the monk's demands, but through his own realization and internal journey. It highlights the power of self-realization and the profound impact it can have on one's life. The monk's wisdom lay in guiding the thief to find his own path to enlightenment, proving that lasting change is born from personal understanding and inner growth. Through this tale, we learn that enlightenment is not about abandoning one's identity, but about evolving and finding deeper meaning and purpose in life. 12. The Power of Forgiveness, a Lesson from Buddha. Have you ever wondered how to truly let go of past wrongs and find peace? Imagine someone trying to insult a great teacher, only to receive an unexpected and wise response. This story about Buddha will make you rethink the power of forgiveness and the idea that we are constantly changing. Dive into this fascinating tale to discover profound lessons that can transform how you view mistakes and personal growth. There was someone who wanted to insult Buddha to see how he would react. He spat on Buddha's face. Buddha wiped his face and asked, "Is there anything else you would like to say?" It was as if he had just had a normal conversation with Buddha. This left the man surprised and confused, not knowing how to respond, so he left. After going home, he couldn't sleep at all that night, feeling that he had done something terribly wrong and feeling guilty. Early the next morning, he came back, knelt at Buddha's feet and pleaded, "Please forgive me." Buddha said, "Who is there now to forgive you? The person who was spat on no longer exists. The person who spat does not exist anymore either. There is no need for apologies between them. Forget about this incident. There is nothing you need to do, and nothing the other can do. Those two people are gone. It's over. There is no one left, and nothing left to be done. You are a new person, and so am I. Everything is constantly changing and moving. Nothing remains the same. When you become fixated, you make mistakes." Conclusion. The story of Buddha and the man who tried to insult him carries profound lessons that resonate deeply with our everyday lives. Firstly, Buddha's response teaches us the immense power of forgiveness and the importance of letting go. When the man spat on him, Buddha did not react with anger or resentment. Instead, he wiped his face calmly and asked if there was anything else the man wanted to say. This reaction is not just about maintaining composure. It reflects a higher understanding that holding on to anger and seeking revenge only perpetuates a cycle of negativity. By choosing forgiveness, Buddha freed both himself and the man from the burden of that moment. Moreover, the story highlights the concept of impermanence. Buddha tells the man that the person who spat and the person who was spat on no longer exist. This might sound confusing at first, but it beautifully illustrates that we are constantly changing. Every moment we evolve, and so do our thoughts and feelings. By acknowledging this, we can better understand that clinging to past actions or identities prevents us from fully embracing the present and growing into better versions of ourselves. This lesson is incredibly relevant today. Many of us carry the weight of past mistakes, grudges, or guilt. These burdens can hinder our personal growth and happiness. The story encourages us to see each new day as a fresh start, where we can choose to act with kindness, understanding, and compassion. It reminds us that who we were yesterday does not have to define who we are today. In a world where holding on to negativity is easy, the story of Buddha offers a refreshing perspective. By practicing forgiveness and understanding the ever-changing nature of life, we can cultivate inner peace and foster healthier relationships. This simple yet profound tale serves as a powerful reminder that true strength lies in letting go and embracing the present moment with a compassionate heart. 13. The Surprising Act of Leadership by George Washington. Have you ever wondered what makes a great leader? Is it their rank or their actions? Dive into an intriguing story about George Washington that reveals a powerful lesson in leadership and equality. This tale will not only surprise you but also inspire you to rethink what true leadership means. Discover how a simple act of helping a soldier taught a profound lesson about empathy and respect. George Washington was the first president of the United States. Today, he is recognized as one of the greatest presidents in American history. He was not only strict with his subordinates, but also deeply cared for them. One day, an officer ordered his soldier to move a large tree that had fallen across the road due to strong winds. The tree was very big, and the soldier struggled to move it while the officer just stood by watching. At that moment, a stranger approached and asked, "Why don't you help him?" The officer replied, "Oh, I am a colonel in General George Washington's army." The stranger did not say anything, but quickly went to help the soldier with the tree. The colonel felt puzzled and asked, "Why are you helping this man?" The stranger answered, "Everyone in this world is free and equal. No one has the right to order him around like that." The colonel then asked who he was, and the stranger replied, "George Washington." At that point, the colonel felt embarrassed and blushed. Conclusion: George Washington's actions in this story highlight two crucial aspects of leadership that remain relevant today: leading by example and respecting equality. When Washington saw the soldier struggling to move the tree, he didn't hesitate to step in and help, despite being the highest-ranking officer. This simple yet powerful gesture demonstrated that true leaders are not above the people they lead. Instead, they are willing to work alongside them, showing empathy and understanding. Washington's willingness to get his hands dirty not only eased the soldier's burden, but also sent a clear message to the colonel and everyone around. It emphasized that leadership is not about giving orders from a position of comfort and authority, but about participating in the challenges and hardships faced by the team. This kind of leadership builds trust, respect, and loyalty among team members. Moreover, the story underscores the fundamental principle of equality. Washington's remark that everyone in this world is free and equal serves as a timeless reminder that no one should be treated as inferior. Regardless of rank or status, every individual deserves respect and fair treatment. This message is particularly relevant in today's world, where issues of inequality and injustice continue to surface in various aspects of society. Washington's behavior contrasts sharply with the colonel's, who believed his rank exempted him from helping. This contrast not only embarrassed the colonel but also highlighted the significant gap between true leadership and mere authority. It showed that a title alone does not command genuine respect. Actions do. In summary, this story of George Washington is more than just a historical anecdote. It's a lesson in leadership and humanity. It teaches us that the best leaders are those who lead with empathy, actively engage with their team, and uphold the values of equality and respect. These principles are timeless and continue to be the foundation of effective and inspirational leadership. If you find these stories inspiring and they motivate you to take action, please comment 9. If not, comment 0. Your feedback means a lot to us. Thank you for your valuable time. 14. Embrace the flow. Discover the secret to navigating life's challenges. Have you ever wondered how some people seem to effortlessly overcome life's toughest challenges? In a remarkable story, an old man's simple wisdom reveals the power of adapting to circumstances and finding strength in simplicity. Dive into this intriguing tale and uncover the secret to mastering life's powerful currents by learning to blend with them rather than being swept away. Ready to discover the profound lesson hidden in the flow of a mighty waterfall. There was a saint who visited a waterfall which was about 600 feet high with a very powerful flow, so much so that no fish could survive there. However, the saint saw an old man walking into the waterfall and thought, "What is that old man doing? He seems to be disregarding his own life." He sent a disciple to follow the river and rescue the old man. Surprisingly, they found the old man further downstream, over 100 steps away, walking and singing with his silver hair fluttering in the wind. The saint hurried after the old man and, catching up to him, asked, "Sir, I thought you were a divine being, but now I see you are just a regular person. Can you tell me how you managed to walk through such a swift current?" "It's nothing special," the old man casually replied. "I didn't use any special method. I just walked into the swirl and came out with it. I simply allowed myself to blend with the flow rather than letting it sweep me away, and that way I could easily navigate through it." Conclusion: finding strength in simplicity and adaptation. The story of the old man walking through the powerful waterfall teaches us two profound lessons that can significantly impact our lives. The first lesson is the importance of going with the flow. In life, we often face powerful currents in the form of challenges and obstacles. Like the old man, instead of resisting these forces, we can learn to blend with them. By adapting to our circumstances and moving with the flow, we can navigate through difficult times more smoothly. This doesn't mean giving up or being passive. Rather, it means being flexible and open to change, finding ways to work with the situation instead of against it. The second lesson is the beauty of simplicity in wisdom. The old man's method of survival was not a complex or secret technique. It was simply allowing himself to move with the current. This simplicity can be applied to many aspects of our lives. Often we overcomplicate problems, seeking elaborate solutions when the answer might be straightforward. By embracing simplicity, we can see things more clearly and make better decisions. Wisdom doesn't always come from complicated theories or extensive knowledge. Sometimes it's about understanding and applying simple truths effectively. In our fast-paced, often chaotic world, these lessons are incredibly valuable. We are constantly bombarded with challenges and the pressure to find quick solutions. The story reminds us to take a step back, observe the flow of our lives, and adapt in a way that aligns with our natural path. It encourages us to simplify our approach, focusing on what truly matters and what works best in harmony with our surroundings. By going with the flow and embracing simplicity, we can find balance and strength in the midst of life's turbulence. These timeless lessons can guide us toward a more peaceful, resilient, and fulfilling life. Remember, sometimes the most profound wisdom lies in the simplest actions. 15. Discover the hidden wisdom. A talking bird's timeless lessons. Imagine encountering a bird that can speak and offers you profound advice. Would you listen? This intriguing story of a priest and a talking bird holds powerful lessons about trust and knowing your limits. Join us as we delve into this captivating tale that reveals important life lessons through an unexpected encounter. You won't want to miss the wisdom that could change the way you see the world. On his way back from a nearby village, a priest saw a person selling a very beautiful bird. So he bought it, thinking, such a beautiful bird must taste delicious. You shouldn't think like that, the bird suddenly spoke up. Startled, the priest asked, What? Did you just speak? Yes, I am not an ordinary bird. If you release me, I will give you 3 pieces of advice, the bird responded. Thinking, this talking bird must be very wise, the priest agreed. All right, tell me your advice and then I will let you go. The bird advised, First, never trust lies, no matter who says them. Even if they are great, famous, or powerful, if someone speaks falsely, do not believe them. The priest nodded. Right. The bird continued. Second, never do more than you can handle. Before starting anything, carefully assess your capabilities. Only those who understand their limits are truly smart, while fools always try to show off their talents. Again, the priest nodded. Right. The bird added, Third, if you do something good, you shouldn't regret it. People only feel regret when they do something wrong. Impressed by the profoundness of the advice, the priest released the bird and happily returned to his church. He thought, I will use these 3 pieces of advice in my next sermon. They are wonderful and can change a person. I should write them on the wall and carve them on the desk so I remember them always. Suddenly he heard the bird laughing from a tree branch. Curious, the priest asked, Why are you laughing? The bird replied, You are foolish. Inside me is a very precious diamond. If you had killed me, you would have become very rich. Regretting his actions, the priest thought, How foolish I am to believe a bird. In anger, he threw his notebook down and climbed the tree. Although he was old and had never climbed a tree before, each time he nearly reached the bird, it flew higher. Eventually, the priest reached the top of the tree, but as he tried to grab the bird, he slipped, fell to the ground, broke both legs, and was critically injured. As he lay dying, the bird landed on a lower branch and said, You really are foolish. First, you believed that there was a precious diamond inside me? Such a lie, and you believed it? Then you did something beyond your abilities. Have you ever climbed a tree before? You know birds can fly. Did you really think you could catch me by hand? You are truly foolish. Do you regret releasing me? If you did something good, why feel sorry? Now go home, write these principles down, and use them in your next sermon. Conclusion. The story of the priest and the talking bird is more than just an amusing tale. It is a powerful lesson about wisdom, trust, and self-awareness. The bird's 3 pieces of advice are timeless and universally applicable, teaching us to be cautious of deceit, to recognize our limitations, and to feel confident in our good deeds. Firstly, the advice to never trust lies, regardless of who tells them, serves as a reminder to always seek the truth. In today's world where misinformation can spread easily, this lesson is particularly relevant. It encourages us to question and verify information before accepting it as fact, no matter the source. Secondly, knowing our limits is essential for personal growth and success. The priest's attempt to climb the tree, despite his lack of ability, resulted in injury and failure. This highlights the importance of self-awareness and honest self-assessment. Understanding our strengths and weaknesses allows us to set realistic goals and avoid unnecessary risks. This principle is valuable not only in personal endeavors, but also in professional and social contexts. Lastly, the lesson about not regretting good deeds is a call to stand firm in our moral choices. The priest's regret after releasing the bird was unfounded because his initial action was kind and just. This teaches us that good actions driven by integrity and compassion should never be a source of regret. Embracing this mindset can lead to a more fulfilling and guilt-free life. In conclusion, the The talking bird's wisdom offers profound insights that are still relevant today. By applying these lessons in our daily lives, we can navigate challenges more effectively, build stronger relationships, and make better decisions. Let this story remind us to value truth, recognize our limits, and take pride in our good deeds, knowing they shape a better world for ourselves and others. 16. Unpredictable patterns, the hidden dangers of assumptions. Have you ever felt confident in a pattern, only to be blindsided by an unexpected twist? Imagine a little chick, anxiously waiting in its nest, believing it has deciphered the rules of its world. But what if the very certainty it relied on led to its downfall? Join us in unraveling the cautionary tale of the chick and discover why life's predictability can sometimes be deceiving. This story will make you rethink the assumptions you hold and remind you of the ever-present uncertainty in life. There was a little chick that often sat anxiously in its nest. One day, someone suddenly appeared at the door, causing the chick to run away in fear. When it returned, the person was gone, but there were corn kernels in front of the nest. The chick wondered, where did these corn kernels come from? The next day, the same person came again, and the chick ran away once more. Upon returning, the person was gone, but the corn kernels were still there. The chick started to suspect a connection between the person and the corn. However, it was too early to make any conclusions, so it decided to keep waiting and watching. The chick waited and observed the pattern daily. Eventually, a cause and effect theory formed in its mind. Every time this person shows up, the corn appears. After observing this 999 times, the chick was certain that the appearance of the person meant there would be corn. The person was the cause, and the corn was the effect. After 999 times, this seemed undeniable. Because of its patience, testing, observing, and studying, it was confident this pattern would continue without exception. It became a rule to the chick, and it eagerly awaited the person's appearance. On the 1000th appearance, the chick approached the person, grateful for their kindness. But in the end, it was killed. Such is life. Causality isn't always reliable. Even if something has happened 999 times, you cannot assume the 1000th time will be the same. It might be an exception. Conclusion. The story of the little chick serves as a powerful reminder of the unpredictability of life and the dangers of making assumptions based on observed patterns. The chick's journey from fear to trust illustrates a common human tendency to find comfort in routines and predictability. However, this story teaches us that even the most reliable patterns can have exceptions, and those exceptions can be significant. In our daily lives, we often rely on patterns and past experiences to make decisions. This can be helpful in many situations, providing us with a sense of security and understanding. But just like the chick, we must be cautious about becoming too dependent on these patterns. The chick observed the appearance of the person 999 times, each time receiving corn. It became so confident in this pattern that it let its guard down on the 1000th time, leading to its demise. This teaches us that no matter how many times something has occurred, there is always a chance for an unexpected outcome. Life is full of uncertainties, and it's important to remain vigilant and open-minded. We should always question our assumptions and be prepared for the unexpected. This doesn't mean living in constant fear, but rather being mindful and flexible in our thinking. It's crucial to balance our reliance on patterns with a healthy skepticism and readiness for change. The story also highlights the importance of not jumping to conclusions too quickly. The chick took its time to form a theory based on repeated observations, which is a wise approach. However, it failed to consider the possibility of an exception. This teaches us that while it's good to be methodical and patient, we must also keep an open mind and be aware that life can surprise us. In conclusion, the tale of the little chick is a lesson in the unpredictability of life and the importance of staying cautious, open-minded, and prepared for change. It encourages us to question our assumptions, remain flexible in our thinking, and always be ready for the unexpected twists and turns that life may bring.
If you like this video, please comment 1, and if you don't, comment 2. Your feedback means a lot to us. Thank you for your valuable time.
17. Unraveling Morality. Socrates' lesson on the complexity of right and wrong. Have you ever wondered what it really means to be moral? Is lying always bad, or can it sometimes be justified? Join us as we delve into a thought-provoking story about Socrates, the famous philosopher who used the art of questioning to explore the true nature of morality. Through his conversations, you'll discover how context shapes our understanding of right and wrong, and why asking the right questions can lead to deeper insights. Don't miss this fascinating journey into the heart of ethical thinking. Socrates often visited the busy markets in Athens to engage in lively discussions and debates with people. He had a unique way of sparking interesting conversations and debates. One day, as usual, Socrates came to the market and asked a man there, "Excuse me, I'm confused about something. Could you help me? Everyone says we should be moral, but what exactly does being moral mean?" The man replied, "It means always being honest, loyal, and upright. Deceiving and lying are considered immoral." Socrates, pretending not to understand, asked again, "Then why do generals on the battlefield always try to deceive the enemy? Deceiving the enemy is justifiable, but deceiving your own people is immoral." Socrates countered, "Suppose our troops are surrounded by the enemy, and a general deceives them by saying, 'Reinforcements are on the way, let's bravely move forward.' And this leads to breaking the siege and winning. Is that general considered just and moral?" The man said, "In such critical situations on the battlefield, that's necessary, but it would be immoral to do so in everyday life." Socrates continued, "If your child is sick and refuses to take medicine, parents often tell them the medicine is very sweet. Thanks to that, they take it and get better. Is that immoral?" The man had to admit, "It's right for parents to do that, and it cannot be considered immoral." Socrates, dissatisfied, said, "You just said lying is immoral, but now you say it can be moral. So lying can't be used to determine morality. What really is morality then? Please tell me." After thinking for a moment, the man said, "A person who doesn't know what morality is can't do moral things. Only when you truly understand it can you act morally." Socrates finally felt satisfied with that answer, smiling and shaking the man's hand. "You are truly a great philosopher. Thanks to you, I now understand what morality is, and I've resolved a long-held doubt. I sincerely thank you. This is the art of conversation through questioning and using specific examples to understand issues comprehensively." Conclusion. The story of Socrates in the bustling markets of Athens teaches us profound lessons about the nature of morality and the power of questioning. Socrates, through his unique method of dialogue, demonstrates that morality is not black and white. What might seem immoral in one context, like lying, can be deemed necessary and even moral in another. This nuance is crucial in understanding that ethical decisions often depend on specific situations and intentions behind actions. In the battlefield scenario, deceiving the enemy to protect one's troops can be seen as a strategic and moral action. Similarly, a parent telling a white lie to ensure their child takes medicine and gets well shows that the intention behind the lie is what matters. These examples illustrate that morality cannot be rigidly defined by a single rule like never lie. Instead, it requires a deeper understanding of circumstances and intentions. Socrates' approach to exploring these ideas through persistent questioning encourages us to think critically and not accept simple answers. By challenging the man in the market, Socrates helps him and us realize that understanding morality involves more than just knowing a list of do's and don'ts. It requires a thoughtful consideration of the complexities of human behavior and the context in which actions occur. This method of inquiry, known as the Socratic method, remains a powerful tool for learning and discovering truths. It reminds us that true wisdom comes from recognizing the limitations of our knowledge and continuously seeking deeper understanding. By asking the right questions and examining our beliefs critically, we can better navigate the moral dilemmas we face in everyday life. In conclusion, the story of Socrates teaches us that morality is a complex and multifaceted concept. It urges us to look beyond surface-level definitions and explore the deeper principles that guide our actions. Through questioning and thoughtful dialogue, we can develop a more comprehensive and nuanced understanding of what it truly means to be moral. 18. Embrace change and trust in collaboration. A river's journey. Have you ever faced a challenge that seemed impossible to overcome? Imagine a river determined to cross a vast desert, only to find its water disappearing into the sand. Despite its best efforts, it couldn't make it through. Just when hope seemed lost, a voice offered an unexpected solution: transform and collaborate. Curious about how this river overcame its greatest obstacle? Discover the inspiring story of how embracing change and trusting in others can lead to remarkable success. A river starts in the distant mountain hills and flows through various rural areas before finally reaching the desert. Just like the obstacles it had overcome before, the river wanted to try crossing the desert. However, as it entered, it found that its water started to disappear. It tried many ways and different paths, but all were in vain. The river felt sad, unsure of what to do since its fate was to cross this desert. Just then, a voice from the desert reached its ears. If the wind can cross the desert, so can the river. But the river's water kept sinking into the sand and vanishing without a trace. The wind can fly, so it can cross the desert. You should use the most common method to move forward, and if you can't pass through, don't just disappear. Become a marsh instead, and let the wind guide you to your goal. But where do I start? Let the wind absorb you. The river was reluctant to do this, as it had never been absorbed before and didn't want to lose its character or change its principles. Once it lost its water, it wasn't sure it could gather again into a river. The sand spoke. The wind can help you with this. It lifts the water up, carries it across the desert, and then drops it down. The water will fall as rain, and then these raindrops will gather back into a river. Are you sure it will gather into a river again? It will gather. If you don't believe, you'll be left isolated here and will disappear, or at best, you might only become a marsh, and even that could take many years, certainly not becoming a river again. Can I still be a river like I am now? You can't create a river in two different environments and circumstances. The voice paused and then continued. But you can still keep the main qualities that form a river. Right now, even though you are called a river, you don't know which part of you really makes you one. Those words stirred memories in its mind. It vaguely remembered a time when, or a part of it that had been pulled by the wind. Could that have really happened? It lifted its vapor up, grasping the arm of the wind. Gently, the wind carried it forward, bringing it to a high mountain peak, and carefully dropped it there. Because it was afraid and doubtful, every action, every detail was deeply etched into its memory. It thought, yes, now I know what collaboration is. While the river was learning its lesson, it heard the whisper of the sand. Because we are always in the heart of the river, seeing it happen every day, we know this. That's also why people say, if a river wants to continue its life, it must write on the sand. Conclusion. The story of the river and the desert is a powerful reminder of two crucial life lessons: the importance of adaptability and the value of collaboration. The river's journey highlights how rigidly sticking to familiar methods can sometimes lead to failure, especially when faced with new and challenging environments. The river's initial attempts to cross the desert on its own resulted in its water disappearing into the sand, symbolizing the futility of trying to solve new problems with old solutions. When the river finally listened to the voice from the desert, it learned the significance of adaptability. By transforming into vapor and allowing the wind to carry it, the river discovered a new way to achieve its goal. This transformation didn't mean losing its identity. Instead, it adapted to the circumstances and ultimately found a way to continue its journey. This teaches us that being open to change and willing to adapt can lead to new opportunities and successes that we might not have considered before. The story also emphasizes the importance of collaboration and trust. The river was initially reluctant to trust the wind, fearing it would lose its essence. However, by taking the risk and collaborating, the river was able to reach new heights and continue its journey. This highlights the value of trusting others and working together towards a common goal. Collaboration can provide new perspectives and solutions that we might not be able to achieve alone. In our own lives, we often face deserts, challenges that seem insurmountable. The story of the river encourages us to be adaptable and open to change, to seek out and trust in collaboration, and to understand that sometimes achieving our goals requires us to let go of our old ways and embrace new methods. By doing so, we can overcome obstacles and continue our journey, just like the river. 19. Discover the true meaning of daylight, a lesson from the Rabbi. Have you ever wondered when night truly ends and day begins? A rabbi posed this intriguing question to his students, leading to an unexpected and profound answer. Join us as we explore this enlightening story and uncover the deeper messages about recognizing our shared humanity and the importance of understanding and connection. This tale offers a simple yet powerful perspective on what it means to truly see and appreciate the people around us. A rabbi said to his students, "Do you know when the night ends and the day begins?" The students answered, "When a person can distinguish from afar the animals in the field, telling which are goats and which are dogs, then it means day has arrived." "No, that's not correct," the rabbi responded. "So, how should it be?" the disciples asked. "It's when we can see the faces of other people clearly. That is, when you can still recognize your brothers and sisters. Because if the disciples can't see these things, no matter what time it is still night." Conclusion. The story of the rabbi and his students offers a powerful lesson that goes beyond the simple act of distinguishing night from day. It challenges us to look deeper into our interactions and perceptions of those around us. The rabbi's answer, that daylight truly begins when we can see and recognize our fellow human beings as brothers and sisters, carries a profound message about empathy and connection. In our daily lives, it's easy to get caught up in our routines, often seeing people as mere figures in the background. We might judge others based on superficial differences, forgetting the shared humanity that binds us all. The rabbi's teaching reminds us that true enlightenment and clarity come from recognizing and appreciating the inherent worth in each person. This perspective fosters a sense of community, understanding, and mutual respect that is essential for harmonious living. Moreover, the rabbi's words emphasize the importance of genuine connection. In a world where communication is often reduced to quick texts and brief interactions, we can lose sight of the meaningful connections that enrich our lives. By truly seeing and understanding others, we open ourselves up to deeper relationships and a more compassionate outlook on life. This approach can transform our interactions, making them more fulfilling and significant. The metaphor of daylight and night extends to how we approach conflicts and misunderstandings. When we fail to see others clearly, when we don't recognize their experiences and emotions, we remain in the dark, metaphorically speaking. But when we make the effort to understand and connect, we bring light into our interactions, resolving conflicts and building stronger, more empathetic relationships. In essence, the story encourages us to strive for a world where we all see each other clearly, not just with our eyes, but with our hearts. By doing so, we not only brighten our own lives, but also contribute to a more understanding and connected world. Let us all take this lesson to heart and make an effort to truly see and appreciate the people around us, turning every moment into a new beginning of daylight. If you find these stories inspiring and they motivate you to take action, please comment 9. If not, comment 0. Your feedback means a lot to us. Thank you for your valuable time. 20. The key to solving any problem. Are you asking the right question? Have you ever jumped to solve a problem only to realize you missed a crucial detail? Imagine this. For 20 years, a professor at the University of Pennsylvania walked into his classroom and wrote the numbers 2 inches and 4 inches on the board. He then asked his students for the answer. Confused, they debated fiercely. Some said 6, others 2, and a few guessed 8. But the professor's response always stunned them. You're missing the key issue. What was he trying to teach them? And what can we learn from this simple yet profound exercise about understanding problems and the importance of context? Let's dive into this story to uncover the valuable lessons it holds. For 20 years, while teaching at the law department of the University of Pennsylvania, Professor Adrian would always write the numbers 2 inches and 4 inches on the board whenever he entered the lecture hall. Then he would ask the students, "What's the answer?" Some would say 6, others 2, and some 8. A few would find it boring and remain silent. After the students debated for a while, the professor would say, "Arguing like this is pointless because you're missing the key issue. What is the key issue here? Is it addition or subtraction, multiplication or division, or something else entirely?" Without knowing what the problem is, how can you provide the right answer? Conclusion. The story of Professor Adrian and his exercise with the numbers 2 inches and 4 inches offers us 2 crucial lessons about problem solving that are highly relevant in today's fast-paced world. First, it teaches us the importance of understanding the problem before seeking a solution. In the classroom, students were quick to provide answers without fully grasping what the professor was asking. This mirrors real-life scenarios where we often rush to solve issues without taking the time to comprehend them fully. Whether in business, personal relationships, or academic pursuits, accurately defining the problem is the first step toward finding a meaningful solution. By taking the time to ask the right questions and understand the core issue, we can avoid unnecessary mistakes and arrive at more effective solutions. Second, the story highlights the significance of context in problem solving. The different answers from the students, 6, 2, 8, demonstrate how varied interpretations can be when context is missing. In the real world, context shapes our understanding and approach to problems. For instance, a business decision that works in one market might fail in another if the cultural or economic context isn't considered. Similarly, personal decisions should be made with a full understanding of the circumstances and potential impacts. By considering the context, we can make more informed decisions that are better suited to the specific situation. Professor Adrian's lesson reminds us that jumping to conclusions without fully understanding the problem and its context can lead to ineffective or incorrect solutions. It encourages us to slow down, ask questions, and gather all necessary information before attempting to solve a problem. In essence, the key to effective problem solving lies not just in finding answers, but in asking the right questions and understanding the bigger picture. This approach not only leads to better solutions, but also helps in making smarter, more informed decisions in every aspect of life. 21. How helping others can save your own life. Have you ever wondered if a simple act of kindness could make a life or death difference? In the heat of battle, Lieutenant Smith's quick decision to help a fellow soldier ended up saving them both from a deadly explosion. This incredible story shows how helping others can lead to unexpected and life-saving rewards. Join us as we dive into this gripping tale and discover the surprising ways kindness can come back to protect us. During a fierce battle, Lieutenant Smith suddenly noticed an enemy plane plummeting down. Normally, seeing such a sight would mean you'd have to hit the ground immediately. However, in that dangerous moment, about 15 feet away, there was a soldier still standing. Without thinking twice, he rushed over and pulled him down to the ground. Just then, a loud explosion sounded, and they were both covered in a thick layer of dust and dirt. Once everything quieted down, they stood up and brushed themselves off. That's when Lieutenant Smith turned around and saw, with great shock, a large, deep crater right where he had been standing just moments before. Sometimes helping others is also a way to help ourselves. Conclusion. Lieutenant Smith's story is a powerful reminder of the impact our actions can have on others and ourselves. In the chaos and danger of battle, his instinct to help a fellow soldier was not only a moment of heroism, but also an act of survival. This story shows us that in trying to help others, we often end up helping ourselves in ways we might not expect. The first message is clear: helping others can save us. When Lieutenant Smith rushed to pull his comrade to safety, he was acting selflessly, but in doing so, he unknowingly saved himself from a deadly explosion. This teaches us that selfless actions can have mutual benefits. By looking out for others, we create a safer and more supportive environment for everyone, including ourselves. This principle applies not just in battle, but in everyday life. Whether it's helping a coworker with a tough project, assisting a neighbor in need, or simply being there for a friend, our efforts to support others can often come back to benefit us in unexpected ways. The second message is equally important. Acts of kindness have unexpected rewards. Lieutenant Smith's quick thinking and bravery didn't just save a life. It created a bond between him and the soldier he saved. This act of kindness had a profound impact on both of them, reinforcing the idea that good deeds can lead to positive outcomes. Kindness can break down barriers, build trust, and foster a sense of community. It's a reminder that in a world that often feels divided, small acts of kindness can have far-reaching effects. In conclusion, Lieutenant Smith's story encourages us to be brave, selfless, and kind. It shows us that helping others is not just about being a good person. It's about creating a ripple effect of positivity and protection. So, the next time you see someone in need, remember that your actions could make all the difference for them and for you. 22. Surviving and teaching. The dual wisdom of Confucius. Ever wondered how ancient wisdom can guide us through life's toughest challenges and still help us teach others? The story of Confucius, caught between warring states and faced with survival, offers powerful lessons in adaptability and integrity. Join us as we explore how Confucius navigated dire circumstances and the timeless principles he upheld once peace was restored. This tale isn't just about history. It's about learning to balance survival instincts with the responsibility to set a good example. Confucius had been living in the state of Tai for 3 years when a conflict broke out between the state of Wu and the state of Chen. The state of Su came to Chen's aid, sending troops to camp at the town of Chengfu. Caught between the state of Tai and the state of Chen, Confucius was trapped for 10 days, at times so hungry that even wild greens were unavailable. His disciple Zilu secretly brought him a cooked pig, which Confucius ate without questioning its origin. Zilu also traded stolen clothes for wine, which Confucius drank without inquiry. However, when Duke Ai of Lu came to meet him, Confucius resumed his dignified manner. He refused to sit on a mat that was not straight and declined to eat meat that was not properly prepared. Seeing this, Zilu asked, "Why do you seem different now compared to those tough days between the states of Tai and Chen?" Confucius replied, "Back then I acted that way because it was a matter of survival. Now I behave this way to teach." Conclusion. The story of Confucius being trapped between the states of Tai and Chen carries timeless wisdom relevant to our lives today. From this tale, we draw 2 crucial lessons: the necessity of adaptability in difficult situations and the importance of teaching and setting a good example when circumstances allow. Confucius demonstrated remarkable flexibility and pragmatism when survival was at stake. Faced with extreme hunger and no resources, he accepted food and drink from his disciple Zilu without questioning their origins. This shows us that, in times of crisis, rigid adherence to our usual standards might not be practical or even possible. Instead, we must be adaptable and make choices that ensure our survival. This doesn't mean compromising our values lightly, but understanding that in extraordinary situations, survival can take precedence. This lesson is particularly relevant today as we navigate various crises and challenges, reminding us to be flexible and resourceful. On the other hand, once Confucius was no longer in immediate danger, he reverted to his dignified and principled behavior. He refused to sit on a crooked mat or eat improperly prepared meat, showcasing his commitment to maintaining high standards. This aspect of the story teaches us the importance of integrity and the role of setting a positive example for others. Confucius knew that his actions would teach and influence those around him. In a stable environment, he emphasized the importance of adhering to ethical principles and proper conduct. This part of the story encourages us to be mindful of our actions and the messages we send through our behavior, especially when we are in a position to influence others. In conclusion, the dual wisdom of Confucius, adaptability in the face of hardship and steadfast integrity when stability returns, provides a balanced approach to life. It reminds us that while we may need to bend our principles in extreme situations, we should always strive to return to our core values and set a good example for others. This balance between flexibility and integrity is essential for navigating life's complexities while maintaining our moral compass. 23. The Power of Love: How a Young Girl's Burden Taught a Priceless Lesson. Have you ever wondered how love can change the weight of our burdens? In a remote pilgrimage to the Himalayas, a simple encounter between a Buddhist devotee and a young girl carrying her brother reveals a profound truth. Join us as we delve into this heartwarming story that showcases the incredible power of love and perspective in transforming our responsibilities. This tale will make you rethink the way you view the challenges in your life. A Buddhist devotee living in Africa made a pilgrimage to the Himalayas in India, hoping to visit the sacred sites of Bodh Gaya and Lázaro Cárdenas, two of the hardest places to reach. The path was crowded with pilgrims and narrow, treacherous with deep cliffs and covered in snow year-round, where a single misstep could be fatal. After careful inquiry, he packed light, knowing the mountain roads were rugged and that carrying too much would be cumbersome, especially with the thin air making breathing difficult. On his way up, he encountered a young girl about 10 years old carrying a hefty child on her back. She was sweating profusely and breathing heavily, clearly struggling. The pilgrim approached her and said, "My dear, you look tired. Why not let him walk on his own?" The girl angrily responded, "Are the things you carry the only ones that matter, while what I carry doesn't? He is my little brother." The pilgrim was stunned. Indeed, the girl was right. Although what they carried differed, the differences weren't significant. Whether it was her brother on her back or the backpack on his, both were heavy. But when weighed with the heart, they defy measurement. Love can lighten any load, making burdens seem lighter. Any act motivated by love is beautiful, whereas responsibilities not rooted in love can make one feel enslaved. Conclusion. In the end, the story of the Buddhist devotee and the young girl serves as a powerful reminder of how love and perspective can reshape our experiences and lighten our burdens. The girl's dedication to carrying her brother despite the physical strain highlights the incredible strength that love can provide. It isn't just about the weight of what we carry, but how we carry it and why. This story teaches us that when we take on responsibilities with love, they become more than just tasks. They become acts of care and devotion. The girl's frustration at the pilgrim's suggestion to let her brother walk on his own underscores a critical point. Love doesn't see burdens as burdens. Instead, it sees them as opportunities to nurture, protect, and support those we care about. In our daily lives, we often face responsibilities that feel overwhelming. Whether it's work, family obligations, or personal challenges, the weight can sometimes seem unbearable. However, if we approach these tasks with a sense of love and purpose, much like the girl with her brother, we can find the strength to carry on. Love gives us a reason to endure and even find joy in the effort. The story also encourages us to reconsider how we judge the burdens others carry. What might seem like an unnecessary load to one person could be an act of love and commitment to another. By understanding and respecting the motivations behind others' actions, we can foster empathy and compassion in our interactions. Ultimately, the lesson here is simple yet profound. Love transforms. It transforms heavy loads into lighter ones, tasks into meaningful acts, and responsibilities into opportunities for connection and growth. Let this story inspire you to look at your own life through the lens of love. Embrace your burdens with an open heart, and you may find that they are not as heavy as they once seemed.
If you like this video, please comment 1. And if you don't, comment 2. Your feedback means a lot to us. Thank you for your valuable time.
24. A test of faith, the ultimate father-son bond. Have you ever wondered how deep trust can go, or what happens when love and duty clash in the most unimaginable way? In a dream, a father receives a divine command that tests his faith and love to their very limits. As he prepares for a heartbreaking journey with his son, the boy's innocent trust in his father brings a profound realization. This gripping story will challenge your understanding of faith, trust, and the human heart. Listen closely and discover the powerful messages hidden within this extraordinary tale. A man had a dream in which God commanded him to kill his own son. When he woke up, he packed his bags to prepare for the next day when he would take the boy into the forest, a place the child had never been before and was very excited about. At midnight, the child woke up and asked, "Dad, what are we going to do in the forest?" The father felt awkward because his plan was to kill the boy in the forest, and the boy was so thrilled about the trip, he didn't know how to answer his son's question. Finally, he said, "God is our Father, just like I am your father." The father carried his son deeper into the forest. Then he began to sharpen his knife, which he intended to use to kill his son. But the boy, unaware of this, eagerly helped him, causing the father great distress. The son asked, "Dad, what are you planning to do? Don't you realize that I'm preparing to kill you?" The boy smiled and cheerfully replied, "I trust you just like you trust God." In conclusion, the story of the father and his son brings to light two profound messages that resonate deeply with our understanding of trust and moral dilemmas. The first message, the importance of faith and trust, is beautifully portrayed through the son's unwavering belief in his father. This innocent trust mirrors the father's faith in God, showing how powerful and comforting trust can be, even in the most terrifying situations. It reminds us of the strength and purity of faith, encouraging us to cultivate and cherish the trust we have in our loved ones and higher powers. The second message, the conflict between obedience and love, delves into the heart-wrenching emotional struggle the father faces. His obedience to what he believes is a divine command conflicts intensely with his deep love for his son. This moral and emotional turmoil is something many can relate to, as it highlights the complex decisions we often have to make in life. It shows that sometimes following a higher calling or duty can put us at odds with our own moral compass and the people we care about the most. As the father sharpens his knife, preparing for the unthinkable, the son's cheerful trust becomes a beacon of innocence and purity. The son's simple yet profound trust in his father, "I trust you just like you trust God," serves as a powerful reminder of the deep bond between parent and child, and the unspoken understanding that love often carries. This moment of pure trust not only alleviates the father's distress, but also shines a light on the innocence and unconditional faith that children often have. Ultimately, the story encourages us to reflect on our own lives and relationships. It prompts us to think about the nature of trust and how we navigate the difficult choices we face. It's a reminder that faith and love, though sometimes in conflict, are fundamental aspects of the human experience. The tale leaves us pondering the balance between duty and affection and how our actions can deeply impact those we care about. 25. Who will take the bath? A story of perspectives and actions. Have you ever wondered how different people might react to the same situation? In a fascinating tale of a teacher and his student, we explore how perspectives shape our actions and how there can be multiple ways to interpret the same scenario. Join us as we dive into this thought-provoking story that challenges us to think deeper about our habits and viewpoints. Who do you think will take the bath? The clean person or the dirty person? Let's find out together. A teacher asks a student, "If a clean person and a very dirty person go to the river together, who will take a bath?" "The dirty person," a student responds. "No, why should he bathe? Being dirty has become a habit for him, while the clean person always wants to stay clean," the teacher explains. "Let me ask again. A clean person and a very dirty person go to the river, who will take a bath?" "It's simple," the student says. "The clean person wants to maintain cleanliness, so he will take a bath." "No," the teacher counters. "Why should the clean person bathe? He's already clean. It's the dirty person because he also wants to be clean." Let's try this again. A clean person and a dirty person go to the river. Who will bathe? This time the student answers, "Both will bathe." He responds confidently, thinking he has grasped the main point of the dialectic. But the teacher says, "Neither, because why would they need to do that? The clean person is already clean, and the dirty person is used to being dirty. Conclusion. In this story, the teacher's persistent questioning reveals much about human nature and the way we perceive situations. At first glance, the answer to the question, "Who will take the bath?" seems straightforward. We might assume that the dirty person, seeking to become clean, would bathe. Conversely, it might also seem logical that the clean person, wanting to maintain their cleanliness, would do so. However, the teacher's responses show that these assumptions aren't always correct. The clean person, already clean, might not feel the need to bathe, while the dirty person, accustomed to their dirtiness, might not see the point. This reveals an essential truth. Our actions are influenced by our habits and perspectives. The clean person values cleanliness and acts to maintain it, while the dirty person might not recognize the need for change due to their habitual state. The student's final answer, thinking both would bathe, shows his attempt to balance both perspectives. Yet, the teacher's ultimate response that neither would bathe underscores the complexity of human behavior and the multiple interpretations of the same situation. This story teaches us that there is rarely one right answer, and that understanding different viewpoints is crucial. In life, we often encounter situations where we think we know the best solution based on our perspectives. This story encourages us to pause and consider other angles. It highlights the importance of being open-minded and understanding that others may see things differently based on their experiences and habits. Moreover, it reminds us that changing our habits and perspectives can be challenging but essential for growth. Just as the dirty person might struggle to see the value in bathing, we too might resist change even when it's beneficial. By recognizing and questioning our assumptions, we can better understand ourselves and others, leading to more thoughtful and effective actions in our lives. Ultimately, this story is a call to self-awareness and empathy, urging us to look beyond the obvious and appreciate the complexity of human behavior. So, next time you face a situation, ask yourself, am I seeing the whole picture or just my part of it? 26. The surprising power of softness. A lesson from LAOZI'S teacher. Have you ever wondered how softness can triumph over hardness? In a fascinating encounter between Laozi and his teacher Chang Tong, a profound lesson is revealed. Join us as we explore this intriguing story and uncover the hidden wisdom in flexibility and gentleness. Discover why sometimes the strongest thing you can do is to embrace softness. Laozi's teacher, was Chang Tong, a man of profound knowledge and unique ways of solving problems. One day, Lao Dan visited his ailing teacher. Chang Tong opened his mouth for Lao Dan to look inside, then asked, "Do you see any teeth?" "No, there are none left. Master, your teeth have all fallen out," Lao Dan replied, shaking his head. "And do I still have my tongue?" Chang Tong stuck out his tongue. "Yes, master, your tongue is still there," answered Lao Dan. "Do you understand what I mean?" Chang Tong asked. "The hard has gone, only the soft remains," Lao Dan thought for a moment and then slowly replied. "Good! Exactly!" Chang Tong affirmed with a smile. Under his teacher's guidance, Lao Dan realized that the soft can overcome the hard, which embodies the idea of achieving victory through softness. Conclusion: embracing softness in a hard world. The story of Laozi and his teacher, Chang Tong, leaves us with a powerful message that resonates deeply in our fast-paced, often rigid world. Chang Tong's simple yet profound demonstration, showing that his soft tongue outlasted his hard teeth, serves as a timeless reminder of the strength found in flexibility and gentleness. In our daily lives, we often face challenges that push us to be tough and unyielding. We are taught to stand our ground, to be firm and resolute. However, this story suggests that there is another way to achieve success and longevity. The concept of achieving victory through softness encourages us to consider how adaptability and gentleness can be powerful tools in overcoming obstacles. Think about water. It is soft and adaptable, yet it can carve through the hardest rock over time. Similarly, when we approach life's difficulties with a soft and flexible mindset, we can find solutions that rigid thinking might miss. Flexibility allows us to bend without breaking, to adapt without losing our essence. This does not mean we lack strength or conviction. Instead, it means we understand the value of patience, resilience, and subtlety. In our relationships, embracing softness can lead to more meaningful connections. Being gentle and understanding with others fosters trust and cooperation. It can help resolve conflicts and build bridges where there were none before. Softness does not equate to weakness. It is a strategic approach to maintaining harmony and achieving lasting peace. Moreover, in personal growth, adopting a soft attitude towards ourselves can lead to greater self-acceptance and happiness. We often judge ourselves harshly, striving for perfection and punishing our shortcomings. By being kinder and more flexible with ourselves, we allow room for growth and improvement. In conclusion, the lesson from LAOZI'S teacher is clear. Softness and flexibility are not signs of weakness, but marks of true strength. They enable us to navigate life's complexities with grace and resilience. By embracing these qualities, we can find a more balanced, harmonious way to live and thrive in a world that often values hardness and rigidity. Let us remember the enduring tongue of Cheng Tong and strive to embody the power of softness in our own lives. If you find these stories inspiring and they motivate you to take action, please comment 9. If not, comment 0. Your feedback means a lot to us. Thank you for your valuable time. 27. Discover the secret to success through faith and simplicity. Have you ever wondered if there's more to success than just hard work and intelligence? In a fascinating story about 3 talented candidates competing for a coveted advisor position, you'll see how faith and common sense can sometimes outshine even the brightest minds. Join us as we unravel this intriguing tale and uncover the unexpected path to true success. There was an official who was not only exceptionally talented and extremely intelligent, but also an outstanding diplomat, deeply trusted by the king. Finding a replacement after his death was not an easy task. The king searched throughout the kingdom and finally found 3 candidates. One was a great mathematician who could solve all kinds of mathematical problems. Since mathematics demands absolute precision and forms the basis of all other fields of study, it is considered the origin of all sciences. Another was a philosopher who was also a great magician. He could create gods, theories, and anything imaginable without any help. He was also a writer who crafted worlds with words in his imagination. The third was a priest who placed his absolute faith in God and prayed daily. These 3 highly intelligent individuals were brought to the royal palace to meet the king. The king gave them 3 days to rest and prepare, as on the 4th day they would compete in a contest to determine the most intelligent, and the winner would become the king's advisor. During the preparation days, the mathematician thought 3 days might not be enough. He worked without eating or sleeping, solving numerous problems and creating methods, as he knew his life would be prosperous and happy if he won. The philosopher prepared for all possible scenarios to ensure he was ready for any question that might be included in the test. The priest, however, ate well and rested comfortably. He prayed daily and went for walks. For a preacher, life itself was a continuous test, so he felt no need to prepare in any special way. On the morning of the fourth day, the mathematician was exhausted from his experiments and looked like he might collapse at any moment. His mind was a mess, nearly driving him insane. The philosopher, overwhelmed by constant thought and debate, was not in much better condition than the mathematician. Only the priest was cheerful and relaxed. He walked happily, enjoying the birds singing and the sunshine, without any worries since he had no expectations. When they arrived at the palace, the king had prepared a challenge for them. They were led into a room with a door that had a lock displaying numerous numbers but no key. The numbers had to be strung together in a special way to unlock the door. The first to leave the room would be chosen. The mathematician immediately began to calculate, noting down every scenario. He intensely scrutinized the numbers on the lock without wasting a second, as it was a matter of life and death. The philosopher blindfolded himself and started reasoning through the puzzle in his own unique way. The priest did not even look at the lock. Knowing he knew nothing of mathematics or practical science, he sat in the corner of the room and sang. After a while, he closed his eyes and prayed. The other two, seeing him, thought he was no competition and that it was just between them. Later, when they remembered the priest, they realized he had left the room and the door was open. Entering the room, the king said, "Why are you still here? The contest is over. Someone has already left the room." They didn't understand how the priest, who sat doing nothing, managed to leave the room. They asked him and he replied, "I was just sitting there praying when a voice in my head told me, 'You are being foolish. Go check the door to see if it's actually locked.' So I went to the door, found it unlocked, and simply walked out." Conclusion. The story of the mathematician, the philosopher, and the priest teaches us profound lessons about faith, simplicity, and the true nature of intelligence. Throughout the tale, we see how the mathematician and philosopher, despite their impressive talents and rigorous preparation, ultimately fail to solve the king's challenge. They are so caught up in their own methods and thinking that they overlook the simplest solution. Their intense focus on complex strategies blinds them to the basic reality of the situation. In stark contrast, the priest's approach is remarkably different. Instead of stressing over the problem, he relies on his faith and remains calm. His inner peace allows him to think clearly and follow a simple, logical step, checking if the door is actually locked. This act of simplicity and common sense leads him to success, demonstrating that sometimes the most straightforward solutions are the most effective. The priest's success reminds us that faith and inner peace are invaluable assets. In a world that often prioritizes relentless effort and intricate problem-solving, this story highlights the importance of maintaining calmness and trusting our instincts. It suggests that a peaceful mind can see solutions that a stressed mind cannot. This is a powerful lesson for anyone facing challenges, showing that taking a step back and approaching problems with a clear, calm mind can be more beneficial than overcomplicating things. Moreover, the story underscores the importance of simplicity and common sense. The mathematician and philosopher represent the tendency to overthink and complicate matters, while the priest's success shows that basic common sense should not be underestimated. This is a valuable reminder to look for simple solutions in our daily lives and not to overlook the obvious. In conclusion, the story teaches us that true intelligence involves a balance of faith, inner peace, and simplicity. By integrating these elements into our lives, we can navigate challenges more effectively and find success in unexpected ways. 28. Discover the wisdom of living fully, a story to inspire your everyday life. Have you ever wondered what you would do if you only had one day left to live? This intriguing question sets the stage for a profound story about a wise man who lived in seclusion. His surprising answer reveals deep truths about living each day with purpose and embracing the uncertainty of life. Dive into this tale and discover the secrets to finding joy in your daily routine and peace in the unpredictability of life. There was someone who accompanied a pilgrim on a visit to a wise man who lived in seclusion. When they met the wise man, the visitor asked, "If you had only one day left to live, what would you do?" The wise man stroked his long, white beard slowly and said, "Well, first, I would write poetry, then I would have some tea. After that, I'd go out to the garden to weed, then perhaps walk around to see the neighbors, and finally, maybe take a little nap." "Hold on a moment," the pilgrim interrupted. "These are your everyday activities." "Exactly," the wise man replied. "Why should the last day be any different from any other day? The last day of one's life is more meaningful than all others because it involves death. And it lurks silently within the 365 days of a year, making no sound, unusually quiet, with no one knowing where it lies." In conclusion, the story of the wise man and his everyday activities teaches us valuable lessons about how to approach our lives. The first important message is about living each day with meaning and purpose. The wise man shows us that if we find joy and fulfillment in our daily routines, there is no need to do anything different on our last day. This mindset encourages us to appreciate the small moments, like writing poetry, having tea, or taking a walk. It reminds us that the ordinary can be extraordinary if we approach it with the right attitude. The second crucial message is about embracing the uncertainty of life. Death is an inevitable part of our existence, but it often comes without warning. The story suggests that instead of fearing this unknown, we should live our lives fully and without regret. By accepting that we do not know when our last day will be, we are encouraged to make the most of every day. This means not putting off the things that make us happy and fulfilled, and not letting fear dictate our actions. Both messages combined give us a powerful way to live. They encourage us to focus on what truly matters and to find contentment in our everyday lives. They also teach us to be at peace with the uncertainties of life, knowing that we have lived well. The wise man's approach is a reminder that we do not need grand gestures or monumental achievements to live a meaningful life. Instead, it is the consistent, simple actions that bring us joy and fulfillment. By applying these lessons, we can create a life that we are proud of, one that is rich with purpose and free from the fear of the unknown. So, take a moment to reflect on your daily routines and see how you can find more joy and meaning in them. Live each day as if it were your last and embrace the beautiful uncertainty of life. 29. The power of belief. How expectations can shape reality. Have you ever wondered how much your beliefs and expectations influence your actions and outcomes? An intriguing experiment at Harvard University revealed something astonishing about how our mindset can shape reality. Join us as we explore the story of two groups of rats and discover how the simple power of belief led to extraordinary results. This tale will make you rethink the way you see yourself and others, showing that sometimes what we believe can indeed become true. American psychologist Robert Rosenthal conducted an interesting experiment with rats at Harvard University. He divided the rats into two groups. To the first group's handlers, he said, "You're lucky. These rats are specially selected and are very smart, ideal for training in complex tasks." To the handlers of the second group, he mentioned, "Unfortunately, these are just ordinary rats. They aren't very smart, so I suggest you use the most basic training methods with them." Following these instructions, the lab workers trained the rats. After some time, Rosenthal tested both groups by placing the rats in a maze. Normally, rats navigate mazes to find food, remembering paths and avoiding dead ends. skills that demonstrate their intelligence. The results showed that the first group of rats performed much better than the second group, quickly finding their way out of the maze. After the experiment, Rosenthal revealed to the lab workers that he had randomly chosen the rats without any pre-selection based on intelligence. He had told the first group their rats were smart and the second group their rats were ordinary. Because the first group believed their rats were intelligent, they probably used advanced training methods. As a result, these rats appeared to become smarter. In contrast, the second group used only basic methods and their rats did not perform as well. The experiment conducted by American psychologist Robert Rosenthal offers a profound lesson on the impact of beliefs and expectations. By convincing one group of handlers that their rats were specially selected and highly intelligent, while telling another group that their rats were ordinary, Rosenthal demonstrated the power of the self-fulfilling prophecy. The rats believed to be smarter performed significantly better in navigating a maze, not because they were inherently more intelligent, but because their handlers approached their training with higher expectations and more advanced methods. This story highlights two important messages. First, our beliefs about ourselves and others can significantly shape our actions and results. When we expect success, we tend to put in more effort, use better strategies, and ultimately achieve better outcomes. Conversely, low expectations can lead to a lack of effort and poorer results. This phenomenon is not limited to rats in a laboratory. It applies to all aspects of life, including education, sports, and even personal relationships. Believing in one's potential can unlock hidden capabilities and drive success. Second, the experiment underscores the concept of the self-fulfilling prophecy. The handler's belief in the intelligence of their rats led to behaviors that enhanced the rat's performance, proving that our perceptions can create realities. This concept suggests that fostering positive expectations and confidence in ourselves and others can lead to improved performance and achievement. It also warns against the dangers of negative expectations, which can hinder potential and create unnecessary limitations. In conclusion, Rosenthal's experiment teaches us that our mindset and expectations are powerful tools that can shape our reality. By fostering positive beliefs and expecting the best from ourselves and others, we can create environments that encourage growth, learning, and success. This insight invites us to reflect on our own beliefs and consider how they might be influencing our actions and outcomes. Whether in personal development, professional endeavors, or relationships, embracing a mindset of positive expectations can lead to remarkable transformations and achievements.
If you like this video, please comment 1, and if you don't, comment 2. Your feedback means a lot to us. Thank you for your valuable time.
30. Finding balance. A monk's unexpected lesson on relationships. Have you ever wondered how a simple gesture can transform a relationship? Discover the intriguing story of monk Mokusen Hyoki and his unconventional approach to resolving a follower's complaint about his stingy wife. Through a surprising and powerful lesson, the monk reveals the secrets of balance and understanding that can turn even the most challenging relationships into loving and harmonious connections. Dive into this captivating tale and uncover the wisdom that can change your perspective on how to handle relationships. Monk Mokusen Hyoki lived in a temple in Tanba. One of his followers came to him to complain about his stingy wife. So, Monk Hyoki decided to visit the follower's wife. When he met her, he didn't say a word but simply raised his fist in front of her face. "What do you mean by this?" the surprised woman asked. "If I just hold my fist like this in front of you without hitting, what would you call it?" he asked. "Weird," she replied. Then he spread his hand open in front of her and asked, "What if I keep my hand open like this, unchanged? What would you call it?" "Still weird," she answered. "Just understand this, and you will be a good wife." After saying this, Monk Hyoki left. From then on, the woman became loving and gentle towards her husband and children, no longer stingy, and even often did good deeds. Conclusion. The story of Monk Mokusen Hyoki and the stingy wife leaves us with profound lessons that are both timeless and universally applicable. It shows us that finding balance in our behavior and relationships is crucial. Extremes, whether in generosity or stinginess, can be harmful and perceived as strange. Monk Hyoki's simple yet powerful demonstration with his fist and open hand illustrates that neither extreme is natural or effective. Instead, finding a middle ground leads to harmony and understanding. Moreover, the story highlights the importance of self-awareness and adaptability. The woman's transformation after understanding Monk Hyoki's message demonstrates that change begins with self-reflection. Recognizing the impact of our actions on others and being willing to adjust our behavior can lead to positive outcomes in our relationships and personal growth. By becoming more loving and gentle, the woman not only improved her relationship with her husband and children, but also became a better person overall, contributing positively to her community. In our daily lives, it's easy to fall into patterns of behavior that may not be beneficial to us or those around us. This story reminds us to pause and reflect on our actions, consider their impact, and strive for balance. It teaches us that understanding and kindness are key components of healthy relationships. When we are willing to adapt and find a middle ground, we can create more harmonious and fulfilling connections with others. As we navigate our own relationships, let's remember the wisdom of Monk Hyoki. Let's strive for balance in our actions, be open to self-reflection, and make changes where necessary. By doing so, we can foster better relationships, create a more positive environment around us, and ultimately lead happier, more fulfilling lives. The story encourages us to embrace these principles and apply them in our interactions, reminding us that even small changes in our behavior can have a significant impact on our relationships and overall well-being. 31. The Trap of Instant Gratification. What a monkey can teach us about freedom. Have you ever found yourself stuck in a situation because you couldn't let go of something? Imagine a monkey trapped by its own greed, unable to escape a simple trap. This story might just make you rethink how you handle your own desires. Discover how a clever native's method of catching a monkey reveals important lessons about letting go of immediate gratification and considering long-term consequences. Curious? Let's dive in. An African native has a clever way to catch a type of monkey known as a vervet monkey. He catches the monkey's attention from a distance, then places the monkey's favorite food inside a cage with very narrow bars and walks away. When he is far enough, the monkey rushes over, reaches into the cage to grab the food, but because the gap is too small, it cannot pull its hand out while holding on to the food. The native only needs to walk back calmly to catch the monkey. It's important not to rush, as it might scare the monkey away. The monkey's greed makes it hold onto the food even tighter, making it impossible to withdraw its hand. Actually, all the monkey needs to do to escape is let go of the food, but it stubbornly clings to it, and therefore cannot free itself. This behavior is simply instinctual. If we only focus on immediate benefits without considering long-term consequences and refuse to let go, we will face similar outcomes as the monkey. Conclusion. The story of the vervet monkey and the native teaches us valuable lessons about our own behavior and decision-making processes. Just like the monkey, we often find ourselves trapped by our own desires and unwillingness to let go of immediate gratification. This can manifest in various aspects of our lives, from personal habits to professional decisions. One key takeaway is the importance of letting go of short-term rewards to achieve greater freedom and success. The monkey's struggle highlights how clinging to something can prevent us from moving forward. In our own lives, we might hold on to bad habits, toxic relationships, or unproductive routines because they offer immediate comfort or satisfaction. However, just like the monkey, we need to recognize when it's time to release these short-term gains to free ourselves and reach our true potential. Another critical lesson is the need to consider long-term consequences over immediate rewards. The monkey's inability to foresee the consequences of its actions mirrors our tendency to focus on what we want right now without thinking about the future. Whether it's financial decisions, career moves, or personal choices, taking a step back to evaluate the long-term impact can help us make wiser decisions. This perspective shift can lead to more sustainable and fulfilling outcomes, rather than momentary pleasures that might lead to regret or difficult situations. In essence, the story urges us to reflect on our own lives and identify where we might be acting like the monkey. Are there areas where we are stubbornly holding on to something, despite the negative impact it has on our overall well-being? Are we making decisions based on immediate gratification without considering the long-term consequences? By addressing these questions and adopting a mindset that values long-term benefits and the willingness to let go, we can avoid the monkey's trap and pave the way for a more liberated and successful life. Ultimately, the lesson is clear. Sometimes, the key to unlocking our potential lies in our ability to let go and look ahead. 32. Discover the endless path of learning. A lesson in humility. Have you ever felt like you've learned everything there is to know? What if I told you that true wisdom lies in understanding how much we don't know? Dive into a timeless story about a young apprentice and his master and discover two powerful messages that can change how you view learning and knowledge forever. Join us as we explore why learning has no boundaries and why humility is the key to true wisdom. There was a young man who had been an apprentice to a master for many years. Feeling that he had mastered all there was to learn, he said, "I have learned all your techniques, and now I am ready to practice on my own." Observing his student's self-assured demeanor, the master asked, "What do you mean by having learned it all?" "That's enough. Even if you add more, I can't learn anything else," he replied. "Go ahead and fill this bowl with stones," instructed the master. The apprentice did as told. "Is it full?" the master asked. "Yes, it is full." The master then scooped up a handful of sand and poured it into the bowl without any spilling out. "Is it full now?" he asked again. This time, "It is full." The master then poured a glass of water into the bowl and still, it did not overflow. "Is it full now?" he asked once more. The apprentice, embarrassed, bowed his head. From this story, we realize even more deeply the meaning of learning has no boundaries. Young people often think that by reading a lot of books, they have grasped all knowledge, much like the bowl filled with stones. Conclusion: the story of the young apprentice and his master offers us a profound lesson on the endless journey of learning and the importance of humility. At first, the apprentice believes he has mastered all there is to know. He sees his knowledge as a bowl full of stones, thinking nothing more can fit in. However, the master shows him otherwise by adding sand and water, proving that there is always more space for learning. This story serves as a powerful reminder that learning is a lifelong process. No matter how much we think we know, there is always more to discover. New information, experiences, and perspectives can always expand our understanding. It encourages us to stay curious and open-minded, ready to learn from every situation and every person we encounter. Moreover, The apprentice's realization of his mistake teaches us the value of humility. Believing we have learned everything can close our minds to new knowledge. It can make us arrogant and prevent us from growing. True wisdom comes from recognizing our limitations and being open to continuous learning. When we approach life with humility, we become better learners and more adaptable to change. We understand that knowledge is not just about filling a bowl with stones, but about being able to fit in the sand and water as well. In our fast-paced world, it's easy to feel pressured to appear knowledgeable and competent. However, this story reminds us that admitting we don't know everything and being willing to learn is a strength, not a weakness. It is through humility and a lifelong commitment to learning that we can truly grow and succeed. So next time you feel like you've learned all there is to know, remember the young apprentice and his master. Embrace the endless journey of learning and let humility guide you along the way. In doing so, you'll discover that true wisdom and growth come from the understanding that there is always more to learn. 33. Discovering True Worth, A Stone's Journey. Have you ever wondered what truly determines your value? Is it the opinions of those around you or something deeper within? Join us as we explore the journey of a simple stone that reveals profound truths about self-worth and perspective. This story might just change the way you see yourself and others. Are you ready to uncover the hidden value within? Let's dive in. There was a wise teacher who grew tired of his student asking him every day, "What is the value of a person?" One day, the teacher handed his student a stone and instructed, "Take this stone to the market, but don't sell it. Just see how much people offer for it." Following the teacher's advice, the student took the stone to the market. One person, noticing the stone was large and beautiful, offered 2 coins. Another thought it could be carved into a pendant and offered 10 coins. Others considered using it for home decoration, as a gift for their child, or for various other uses. Everyone had different purposes, but the highest bid didn't exceed 10 coins. The student reported this back to his teacher. The teacher said, "Tomorrow, take it to a place where they sell gold and just ask for the price, but do not sell it." The next day, the student took the stone to the gold sellers and excitedly told his teacher, "These people must be crazy. One person just seeing it offered a large amount of money. Some offered 10,000 coins, others up to 100,000 coins, even more than 100,000 coins. The teacher remained calm and said, "Tomorrow, take it to the place where they sell precious gems, but absolutely do not sell it, just ask for the price." The following day, the student took the stone to the gem sellers. He couldn't believe his ears when someone offered 100,000 coins, then another up to 200,000 coins, but the student still refused to sell. The gem seller kept insisting, "We will give you 200,000 coins. Isn't that enough? Just sell it to us and we'll pay whatever you ask." The student honestly replied, "I cannot sell it. It belongs to my teacher. I am here just to ask for the price." The student returned and gave the stone back to his teacher, who then said, "We had no intention of selling it, but now you understand, right? If you only ask without reflecting, your own value is only as much as those people at the market see. The true value of a person lies in their heart, and to see that genuine value, one must first have a noble perspective to recognize their own worth and that of others. Our value does not lie externally for others to judge, but within ourselves, our commitment to personal growth, and our efforts to cultivate a space for development. In a life full of challenges, every failure or setback has its value if we know how to overcome it." Conclusion. The story of the wise teacher and his student reveals profound lessons about self-worth and perspective. Initially, the stone seemed ordinary and was valued at only a few coins by those at the market. However, As the student took the stone to different places, its perceived value skyrocketed. This shift in value based on perspective underscores a crucial point. Our true worth is not defined by others' judgments, but by our own recognition and understanding of our intrinsic qualities. Self-worth comes from within. Just like the stone, we all have inherent value that may not always be immediately visible to everyone. The people at the market only saw a rock, but those with a more discerning eye recognized its potential and beauty. Similarly, we must cultivate a deep sense of self-awareness and confidence in our abilities and virtues. This internal recognition of our value is what truly matters, not the fleeting opinions of others. Perspective is also key to understanding and appreciating value. The same stone was viewed differently by various groups, each seeing it through their own lens. This teaches us to seek out and adopt perspectives that allow us to see the full potential in ourselves and others. By developing a noble and informed viewpoint, we can better recognize and appreciate the true worth of individuals beyond superficial assessments. In our own lives, we will encounter people and situations that may challenge our sense of value. It is crucial to remember that these external judgments do not define us. Our value lies in our hearts, in our commitment to personal growth, and in our efforts to create a positive impact. Every failure or setback is an opportunity for growth and self-improvement. By embracing this mindset, we can navigate life's challenges with resilience and confidence, always aware of our true worth. Let this story remind us to look within and appreciate the unique value we each hold. If you find these stories inspiring and they motivate you to take action, please comment 9. If not, comment 0. Your feedback means a lot to us. Thank you for your valuable time. 34. The Hidden Beauty. Within, a story that will make you rethink what truly matters. What if the secret to true beauty isn't what we see on the outside, but something much deeper? In a thought-provoking tale, a teacher, his students, and an innkeeper with two very different wives reveal surprising truths about beauty and humility. Why does the innkeeper prefer his plain-looking wife over his beautiful one? The answer will challenge your perceptions and highlight the value of inner beauty and modesty. Dive into this intriguing story and discover the lessons it has to offer. A teacher and his students went on a trip, and at night, they stopped at a roadside inn to rest. The innkeeper had two wives, one very beautiful and one quite plain. Seeing this, the students debated which wife the innkeeper loved more. Some argued that he must surely love the beautiful wife, while others believed he didn't truly love either. Eventually, they approached the innkeeper to ask him directly. He replied, "I love my plain-looking wife and dislike the beautiful one." Everyone was surprised and couldn't understand why he loved the plain wife and disliked the beautiful one. What was the reason? So they decided to ask the innkeeper for an explanation. However, the teacher stopped them, explaining, "The innkeeper loves true beauty. The beautiful wife always dresses up and is proud of her looks, which ironically makes her unappealing, while the plain wife, though not outwardly attractive, possesses a beautiful spirit. Tell me, which is more beautiful, someone who keeps up appearances or someone with a beautiful heart?" Pride turned the beautiful wife into something unattractive. How can arrogance be considered beautiful? In contrast, the plain wife, because of her modesty and lack of vanity, embodied true beauty. Conclusion. The story of the innkeeper and his two wives leaves us with profound lessons about the nature of beauty and the impact of character. In our society, where physical appearance is often emphasized, it's easy to overlook the importance of inner qualities like kindness, humility, and integrity. The innkeeper's preference for his plain-looking wife underscores a timeless truth. True beauty is not just skin deep, it radiates from within. The beautiful wife, despite her stunning appearance, failed to capture the innkeeper's heart because her pride and vanity made her unattractive. This highlights a critical point. Arrogance and superficiality can overshadow even the most striking physical features. True beauty, as the innkeeper and the teacher understand, is about having a beautiful spirit. It's about how we treat others, our humility, and our genuine nature. These are the qualities that create lasting and meaningful relationships. On the other hand, the plain wife, with her modesty and lack of vanity, exemplifies inner beauty. Her character made her endearing and lovable to the innkeeper. This suggests that our actions and attitudes are far more significant than our looks. When we focus on developing our inner selves, we become more attractive in a meaningful and enduring way. This story encourages us to reevaluate our own values and the qualities we seek in others. It invites us to look beyond the surface and appreciate the true essence of those around us. By fostering inner beauty and avoiding the pitfalls of pride, we can build more authentic and fulfilling connections. In conclusion, the tale of the innkeeper reminds us that while outward appearances may fade, the beauty of a kind heart and a humble spirit endures. Let's strive to cultivate these qualities within ourselves and recognize them in others, for it is this inner beauty that truly enriches our lives and relationships. 35. Discover the hidden wisdom in a philosopher's final moments. Have you ever wondered what happens after we pass away? A curious student asked his wise teacher this very question, only to receive a surprising answer that left him pondering deeply. This story reveals profound lessons about life, death, and finding peace within ourselves. Read on to uncover the subtle wisdom behind the teacher's final words and how they can change your perspective on life's biggest mysteries. There was a student of a philosopher who was very curious about everything he saw, always asking questions or challenging others about one thing or another. One day, the student noticed his teacher seemed tired and said, "Teacher, I know you won't live much longer, but before you leave this body, can I ask you one question? Otherwise, it will bother me for the rest of my life." The teacher, puzzled, tried to open his eyes and look at the student, asking, "What is it?" The student replied, "After you pass to the other side, where will you go?" The teacher then said, "Why do I need to go anywhere at all?" After saying this, the teacher closed his eyes and passed away. "No need to go anywhere anymore," the student repeated, dissatisfied with the teacher's answer. Actually, the wise teacher had given a very subtle answer, but understanding it required the listener to have a high level of insight. "No need to go anywhere anymore" implies that the wise teacher was already everywhere, so there was no need to go anywhere else. Conclusion. The philosopher's story leaves us with two powerful messages that can profoundly impact our perspective on life and death. First, the teacher's response, "Why do I need to go anywhere at all?" challenges us to rethink our understanding of existence. It suggests that life and death are part of a continuous journey, and a wise person recognizes that physical death is not an end but a transition. This perspective can help us find comfort in the idea that those who have passed are still with us in some form, their wisdom and spirit remaining alive. Second, the story highlights the importance of inner peace and enlightenment. The teacher's answer reflects a state of fulfillment that comes from within. In saying he doesn't need to go anywhere, he implies that true wisdom and contentment are not found in external destinations or achievements, but in embracing the present moment. This is a reminder that we often seek happiness and purpose outside ourselves, but the real journey is inward. By cultivating inner peace and understanding, we can find a sense of completeness wherever we are. These messages encourage us to live with a deeper sense of awareness and acceptance. They invite us to appreciate the present and to seek wisdom within ourselves. The student's curiosity and the teacher's profound answer remind us that some of life's greatest lessons come from moments of introspection and quiet understanding. In our fast-paced world, it's easy to get caught up in the pursuit of goals and destinations. However, this story encourages us to pause and reflect on the idea that sometimes we don't need to go anywhere to find what we're looking for. Inner peace, wisdom, and fulfillment are already within us, waiting to be discovered. By embracing this philosophy, we can lead more meaningful and content lives, appreciating the journey rather than constantly searching for the destination. 36. The Secret to True Happiness, a Theologian's Revelation. Have you ever wondered what it means to be truly happy and content? Imagine a great theologian who lived a life of solitude and peace, suddenly given the chance to have all his wishes granted by an angel. What he asked for might surprise you. Dive into this captivating story to uncover the profound lessons of contentment and gratitude that can transform the way we view our own lives. There was a great theologian who lived quietly alone. One day, God sent an angel to wake him up. The angel said, "Your request has been granted by God. All your wishes will be fulfilled. Just say what you desire and I will help make it a reality." The theologian responded gloomily, "I wish you had come earlier when I had many desires. But now I have accepted myself and am completely at peace. I don't even care whether God exists or not. I don't ask anything from him. I used to pray because it felt good, but now I don't think about it anymore. I am satisfied with what I have. You've come too late, but thank God for me." The angel replied, "This is an insult to the divine. God has granted you a wish, and you must make one." The theologian, feeling awkward, shrugged and said, "But what should I wish for? Can you give me some advice? Right now, I have everything I need and feel very content. My life is beautiful. Everything is perfect. There are no flaws. I am happy. Perhaps you could tell God that I am very grateful to him for helping me." Still, the angel insisted, "No, you must make a wish. It's also a matter of courtesy, do you understand?" With no other choice, the man finally said, "If you insist, then please tell God to keep my life as it is. Just grant me the things I already have." Conclusion. In our fast-paced world, we often chase after new desires, believing that acquiring more will bring us happiness. However, the story of the theologian and the angel offers a different perspective. The theologian's journey towards self-acceptance and peace shows us that true contentment doesn't come from external achievements or possessions, but from within. When the angel arrived to grant any wish, the theologian's response was not one of excitement or greed. Instead, he expressed that he no longer had any desires because he was completely satisfied with his life. This reaction teaches us a valuable lesson: the importance of appreciating what we already have. In a culture that often emphasizes material success and constant improvement, this story reminds us that finding peace and joy in our current circumstances can be incredibly fulfilling. The theologian's gratitude also stands out. Despite being told he must make a wish, he chose to ask for his life to remain as it is. His wish wasn't for more wealth, power, or fame, but to keep his existing state of happiness and contentment. This highlights the power of gratitude and how recognizing the value of what we have can lead to a deeper sense of fulfillment. Moreover, his interaction with the angel underscores a profound truth about human desires. As we grow and evolve, our understanding of what we truly need often shifts. The theologian's earlier years were filled with prayers and desires, but with time, he found that his ultimate wish was simply to maintain his current peace. This shift from wanting more to appreciating enough is a powerful message for all of us. In conclusion, the theologian's story teaches us that true happiness and contentment come from self-acceptance, gratitude, and appreciating the present moment. By embracing these principles, we can find peace and fulfillment in our own lives, regardless of external circumstances. 37. The Fisherman's Lost Treasure, a lesson on time and appreciation. Have you ever wondered how many precious opportunities slip through our fingers every day? Imagine waking up before dawn and finding a bag of stones by the river, only to realize too late that they were actually valuable gems. This is the story of an old fisherman who learned a powerful lesson about time and appreciation in the most unexpected way. Join us as we uncover the hidden gems in our own lives and learn how to cherish them before they're lost forever. Before dawn, an old fisherman went to the river to start his day's work. Suddenly, something tangled around his foot. It was a bag of stones. He picked it up, set his net aside, and sat by the riverbank waiting for daylight. Feeling bored with nothing to do, he began throwing the stones into the river. One by one, he tossed them until, as the sun rose higher, he was left with just one stone in his hand. Under the sunlight, he shouted in shock when he realized that the stone he was holding was a precious gem. He couldn't believe he had thrown away a whole bag of gemstones. He had lost a fortune in a moment. Full of regret, he cursed himself and wept bitterly as if he had lost his mind. The old man had accidentally found a fortune, but just as accidentally lost it. However, it was fortunate that the sun rose before he threw the last gemstone away. How many people in life have had luck like that old fisherman? In the darkness, before the sun rises, we often waste many precious opportunities in life. Life is a treasure trove of gems, yet we often fail to recognize their value and waste them. Only when we learn to appreciate them, time has already passed. When the secrets, joy, freedom, compassion, and wisdom are gone, a lifetime has also slipped away. Conclusion. The old fisherman's story teaches us more than just the value of gemstones. It reveals a deeper truth about our own lives. In the hustle and bustle of our daily routines, we often overlook the small yet precious opportunities that come our way. Much like the fisherman who unknowingly tossed away his fortune, we too can waste time and chances without realizing their true worth. Think about the moments we spend with loved ones, the opportunities to learn something new, or the simple joys of everyday life. These are the gems we often take for granted. It's easy to get caught up in the rush and distractions of modern life, but the story reminds us to slow down and appreciate what we have before it's too late. The fisherman's regret was a powerful emotion, a feeling many of us can relate to when we look back at missed opportunities or lost time. However, his story also offers hope. The last gem he held in his hand was a reminder that it's never too late to start valuing what we have. We might not be able to retrieve the stones we've already thrown away, but we can learn to treasure the ones we still hold. By being more mindful and present in our daily lives, we can start to recognize the gems around us. Whether it's spending quality time with family, pursuing our passions, or simply taking a moment to enjoy the beauty of a sunrise, these small acts of appreciation can lead to a richer, more fulfilling life. So, let us take a lesson from the old fisherman. Let us be aware of the treasures in our lives and cherish them before they slip away. In doing so, we not only avoid the pain of regret but also find true happiness and contentment in the present moment. Remember, life is full of hidden gems waiting to be discovered, if only we take the time to see them.
If you like this video, please comment 1. And if you don't, comment 2. Your feedback means a lot to us. Thank you for your valuable time.
38. The Tale of the Wishing Stone. Lessons in Patience and Mindfulness. Have you ever wondered what it takes to truly achieve your dreams? What if the key to success lies not in a magical shortcut, but in something much simpler, yet often overlooked? Join us as we delve into the story of a young man on a quest for wealth who learns two invaluable lessons: the power of patience and the importance of mindfulness. This captivating tale of the wishing stone will make you rethink how you approach your own goals and the opportunities that come your way. There was a young man who wanted to become so wealthy that it drove him crazy. Every time he heard of a way to get rich, he rushed to find it. One day, he heard about an old man with silver hair living deep in the mountains who could make wishes come true for those who found him. Eagerly, the young man stayed up all night packing and set out at dawn. After 5 long days, he finally met the old man. He asked the old man to give him a treasure that would make him rich. The old man said, "Every morning, before the sun rises, go to the sandbank outside the village and look for the wishing stone. This stone is different from ordinary stones. It glows and feels warm. If you find it, your wish will come true." The young man was very grateful and quickly went back home. Every morning he went to the riverbank searching for the stone. He threw every stone that didn't glow or feel warm into the river. After more than 6 months, he still hadn't found the wishing stone. One day he was searching as usual and throwing stones away. 1, 2, 3. Suddenly he cried out, "Oh no!" He cried because, out of habit, he had thrown the warm wishing stone into the river after he tossed it, only then realizing its warmth. Conclusion: the story of the young man and the wishing stone is more than just a tale of a failed quest for wealth. It serves as a powerful reminder of the importance of patience and mindfulness in our lives. The young man's journey illustrates that true success often comes from persistent effort. He searched for over 6 months, demonstrating unwavering dedication. This teaches us that achieving our goals requires time, hard work, and an enduring spirit. Quick fixes and instant success are rare. Most accomplishments are the result of consistent effort and perseverance. Additionally, the story highlights the critical role of mindfulness. The young man's habitual action of discarding stones without careful inspection caused him to throw away the very thing he sought. This moment of realization, when he cried out in despair, underscores how easy it is to miss valuable opportunities if we are not fully present and aware in our actions. In our fast-paced lives, it's common to fall into routines and habits that may lead us to overlook important details or opportunities. By being more mindful and attentive, we can better recognize and seize the chances that come our way. This tale encourages us to reflect on our own lives. Are we patient in our pursuits, or do we give up too quickly when success doesn't come immediately? Are we mindful in our daily actions, or do we let habits and routines dictate our behavior without paying attention to the opportunities around us? By embracing the lessons of patience and mindfulness, we can improve our chances of achieving our goals and appreciating the journey along the way. In conclusion, the young man's story is a timeless lesson in the virtues of patience and mindfulness. It reminds us that while the path to success may be long and challenging, staying dedicated and aware can lead us to discover the true treasures in our lives. 39. Unlocking the Secrets of Wisdom, a story of shared knowledge and preparation. Have you ever wondered why some teachings seem to go over our heads while others resonate deeply within us? Or how some people always seem to know the right thing to say or do? The answers lie in a fascinating story about a wise priest who visited a small town and left the townspeople with 2 powerful lessons about the value of preparation and the importance of sharing knowledge. Curious to find out more? Let's dive into this intriguing tale that holds timeless wisdom for all of us. There was a well-known priest who went on a journey and arrived in a small town for the first time. Although it was his first visit, everyone in town had heard of his reputation. So, When word got out that he was in town, everyone was excited and invited him to give a sermon. The priest said, "I'm just a simple man, and I'm afraid my teachings might confuse you more. I'd rather not preach." Despite his refusal, the townspeople insisted and waited eagerly. Feeling cornered, the priest finally agreed. "All right, this Friday I will give a sermon. What would you like me to talk about?" Everyone replied in unison, "About God, of course." When Friday came, the whole town gathered, cheering as the priest stepped up to the podium. His first question was, "Do you know what I'm going to talk about, God?" The crowd was surprised and answered, "No. What are you going to preach to us?" "Well," the priest said, "if you don't know, then there's nothing more to say. If you're not prepared, even if I explain, it won't be useful. This topic is complex and needs prior understanding." With that, he left the podium. Everyone was stunned and confused, and they invited the priest to come back the following Friday to try again. A week flew by, and on the next Friday the priest returned and asked again, "Do you know what I'm going to say?" This time, everyone replied, "Yes." The priest responded, "If you already know, then there is no need for me to speak, as it would just waste your time." Then he left the podium again. At this point, the crowd didn't know how to react and seemed almost frantic. There must be some misunderstanding, so they persuaded the priest to come back once more. The following week, the priest came back and asked the same question, "Do you know what I'm going to say?" This time, the people were smarter. Half said yes, and the other half said no. The priest then said, "Then those who know can tell those who don't." In conclusion, the story of the priest and the small town serves as a timeless reminder of the importance of preparation and the power of sharing knowledge. The priest's refusal to preach without the townspeople having some understanding highlights that, to truly grasp complex topics, one must first build a foundation of basic knowledge. This preparation enables us to fully appreciate and benefit from deeper insights and teachings. It's a call to action for everyone to commit to lifelong learning and to value the journey of gaining understanding as much as the destination. Moreover, the priest's final lesson that those who know should teach those who don't speaks to the heart of community and the collective growth we can achieve when we share what we know. In a world where information is abundant yet often siloed, this message is more relevant than ever. It encourages us to break down barriers of knowledge and to foster environments where learning from each other is encouraged and celebrated. By doing so, we not only help others but also reinforce our own understanding and mastery of the subjects we share. This story also subtly touches on the humility that comes with true wisdom. The priest, despite his renowned reputation, did not position himself as the ultimate source of knowledge. Instead, he acknowledged the limits of his teachings without the townspeople's prior preparation and recognized the collective wisdom that exists within a community. This humility is a crucial aspect of effective teaching and leadership, reminding us that the best leaders and teachers are those who empower others to learn and grow. As we reflect on this tale, let's strive to be both eager learners and generous teachers. Let's prepare ourselves to understand complex subjects deeply and be ready to share our knowledge with those around us. In doing so, we can build stronger, more informed communities where everyone has the opportunity to learn, grow, and thrive together. 40. The power of patience and non-interference. A teacher's lesson in a forest. Have you ever wondered how patience and doing nothing can solve your problems? Imagine walking through a forest on a hot afternoon, feeling thirsty and desperate for a drink. What if the only water you could find was muddy and undrinkable? This intriguing story of a teacher and his student reveals how patience and non-interference can lead to clarity and resolution, even in the most challenging situations. Listen closely to discover the valuable lessons they learned. Once, a teacher and his student were walking through a forest in the middle of a hot afternoon. The teacher felt thirsty and said to his student, "Go back to the stream we just passed and bring some water here." The student returned to the stream, but it was too small and vehicles had just passed through, making the water very muddy. It was no longer drinkable. He came back and told his teacher, "The water in the stream is now too muddy to drink. We should keep going. There's a river not far ahead where we can get water." The teacher replied, "No, we must go back to that stream." The student was very unhappy with this, knowing the water was undrinkable and feeling thirsty himself. However, he obeyed his teacher and then asked, "Why must you insist on drinking water from that stream?" The teacher didn't answer but simply said, "Go back one more time." On his third visit to the stream, the mud had settled and the water was as clear as it had originally been, with no sediment visible. Seeing the clean water, the student was overjoyed and quickly fetched some to bring back. He then knelt before his teacher and said, "Master, you have taught me a valuable lesson. Nothing is permanent. With patience, one can overcome any difficulty. Just like that stream, the mud settles and the sediment washes away, and the water becomes clear again." The student then asked, "The first 2 times you sent me to get water, should I have done something to make it clear?" The teacher answered, "You didn't need to do anything. Just wait there. If you had touched it, it would have become muddy again. Water continuously flows. Just let it be, and it will clear up on its own." Conclusion: embracing patience and non-interference. The story of the teacher and his student in the forest serves as a powerful reminder of the virtues of patience and the wisdom of non-interference. In our fast-paced world, where instant solutions and quick fixes are highly valued, this story invites us to take a step back and consider a different approach. The first key lesson is about patience. When the student first encountered the muddy stream, he was eager to move on and find a quicker solution. However, the teacher insisted on waiting. This patience paid off when the water eventually cleared up on its own. This teaches us that sometimes the best solutions come from waiting and allowing time to work its magic. In our daily lives, whether dealing with personal issues, professional challenges, or emotional struggles, patience can provide the space needed for problems to resolve naturally. The second important lesson is about non-interference. The student's instinct might have been to try to clear the water himself, but the teacher knew that any attempt to do so would only stir up more mud. By not interfering, the natural flow of the stream allowed the sediment to settle, resulting in clear water. This principle can be applied to many aspects of life. Sometimes, stepping back and not meddling with a situation can lead to better outcomes. Whether it's in relationships, work projects, or personal growth, allowing things to develop without unnecessary intervention can often bring clarity and resolution. In essence, the story encourages us to trust the process of life. While it's natural to want to control outcomes and speed up resolutions, there is great wisdom in letting things unfold at their own pace. By embracing patience and practicing non-interference, we can navigate life's challenges with greater ease and grace. The teacher's lesson in the forest is a timeless reminder that sometimes the best action is to simply wait and let things be, allowing time and nature to bring clarity and resolution. 41. Why carrying the past can crush your future. Imagine walking through your town and spotting 5 people struggling under the weight of a massive boat on their heads. It's a bizarre sight that stops everyone in their tracks. Curious to know why anyone would carry such a burden, you approach them and ask, "Why are you doing this?" The answer reveals a deeper lesson about gratitude, adaptability, and knowing when it's time to let go. This story will make you rethink how you handle the things that once helped you, but might now be holding you back. In a small town, 5 clueless individuals were seen carrying a large boat on their heads. The townspeople were utterly astonished by the sight, because the boat was so huge that it seemed like it could crush them. They wondered why on earth were these people carrying it around. Curious, one of the townspeople approached and asked, "What are you guys doing?" One of the group answered, "We can't leave this boat. It's the reason we made it here. How could we just abandon it? Without it, we wouldn't have reached this place. In fact, we would have perished on the other side if it weren't for this boat. We'll never abandon this boat. Keeping it on our heads is our simple way of showing our deep appreciation for it." Conclusion. This story of the 5 individuals carrying a large boat on their heads serves as a powerful metaphor for our lives. It teaches us 2 crucial lessons that are universally relevant. First, it highlights the importance of understanding context and adaptability. The boat was essential for their journey across the water, saving their lives and allowing them to reach the town. However, once they arrived, the boat became an unnecessary burden. Similarly, we all have tools, habits, and beliefs that help us at certain points in our lives. They might have been crucial for our success or survival at that time, but as our circumstances change, it's important to reassess whether these things are still beneficial. Clinging to the past without adapting can weigh us down, just like the boat. We need to recognize when it's time to let go and move forward with a lighter load. Second, the story underscores that while expressing gratitude is important, it should not come at the expense of our well-being. The group's intention to honor the boat by carrying it on their heads shows their deep appreciation. However, their method of showing gratitude is impractical and harmful. This teaches us that we can respect and honor the past without letting it hinder our progress. Gratitude can be shown in many ways that don't involve burdening ourselves. It's about finding a balance between appreciating what has helped us and recognizing when it's time to set it down and move on. In our lives, we often hold on to things that no longer serve us out of a sense of loyalty or fear of change. This story encourages us to reflect on what we are carrying that we no longer need. It challenges us to let go of past tools, habits, or beliefs that are now more burdensome than helpful. By doing so, we can move forward more freely and focus on what truly matters in the present and future. Embracing change and showing gratitude in healthy ways can lead to a more fulfilling and less encumbered life. If you find these stories inspiring and they motivate you to take action, please comment 9. If not, comment 0. Your feedback means a lot to us. Thank you for your valuable time. 42. The Lion Tamer's Challenge: Unmasking True Skill and Empty Boasts. Have you ever seen someone so skilled and brave that it leaves you in awe? In a certain circus, there was a girl who could control ferocious lions with ease, performing daring acts that took everyone's breath away. But when a man named Nasi arrogantly claimed anyone could do it, a fascinating confrontation unfolded. Discover what happened when empty boasts met real competence in this thrilling story. In a certain circus, there was a girl who was an excellent lion tamer. She had control over all the ferocious lions, and they would obey whatever commands she gave. She even devised many dangerous acts that would leave the audience holding their breath, such as placing a sugar cube on her tongue and having the lion lick it off after a command. Everyone was thrilled and cheered her on, praising her skills. That day, a man named Nasi was also watching. While everyone else was admiring the act, he arrogantly said, "What's so great about that? Anyone could do it." The girl looked at him disdainfully and challenged him. "Can you do it?" He replied, "Of course anyone can do it. It's just like being the lion." Conclusion: the true measure of skill and bravery. The story of the girl lion tamer and Nasaluding offers valuable lessons about the true nature of skill and bravery. In the circus, the girl's remarkable talent for taming lions and performing dangerous acts was evident. Her ability to command these fierce animals and create breathtaking performances showed not just her skill but also her courage. Every act she performed required precision, control, and an incredible amount of bravery, all of which she had mastered through dedication and hard work. On the other hand, Nasaluding's dismissive attitude toward the girl's talents highlights a common human tendency to underestimate the abilities of others. His arrogance led him to make bold claims without understanding the effort and risk involved. By saying anyone could do it, he trivialized the girl's achievements, failing to recognize the extraordinary skill required to perform such acts safely. When challenged to perform the act himself, Nasaluding's response revealed the emptiness of his boast. He did not possess the courage or the competence to back up his words. This moment underscores an important truth. Real skill and bravery are demonstrated through actions, not just words. Nasaluding's inability to follow through on his claim highlighted the difference between genuine competence and empty boasting. This story teaches us to appreciate and respect the talents and efforts of others. It reminds us that true bravery and skill are often the result of hard work and dedication, not something that can be easily replicated. It also serves as a warning against the dangers of arrogance and the importance of humility. Recognizing and valuing the achievements of others can lead to a deeper understanding and appreciation of the challenges they have overcome. In our own lives, we can take these lessons to heart by acknowledging the hard work and bravery of those around us, and by striving to back up our words with real actions. The story of the girl lion tamer and Nasaluding encourages us to look beyond surface-level appearances and appreciate the true measure of skill and bravery in ourselves and others. 43. Dive into growth, facing fears and learning by doing. Have you ever wanted to achieve something but felt too scared to take the first step? What if you could learn without any risks? Imagine a man who wanted to swim but was too afraid to even get close to the water. His story teaches us two important lessons about overcoming fears and the power of real experience. Curious to find out how? Let's dive into Nasrudin's tale and discover the wisdom it holds. One day, Mullah Nasrudin told his teacher that he wanted to learn how to swim. The teacher said, "Let's go down to the river. You'll learn quickly. It's easy. Even kids can do it." However, the path near the riverbank was very muddy and slippery. Nasrudin slipped and fell, which scared him so much that he didn't dare to go further. Instead, he ran and hid under a tree far from the river. His teacher came over and asked, "Why did you run over here? Where are you trying to go?" Nasrudin replied, "Sir, can you teach me to swim first? That way I'll be brave enough to go to the river because it's quite dangerous out there. What if something happens? Who will be responsible? Only once I know how to swim will I go there." If he doesn't go into the river, how can he learn to swim? Because of this, Nasrudin never learned to swim. In conclusion, Nasrudin's story about learning to swim offers us valuable lessons that are applicable to many areas of life. Firstly, facing our fears is a crucial step in the journey of growth and learning. Nasrudin's fear of the river prevented him from even attempting to learn how to swim. This fear, though understandable, was a barrier that kept him from gaining a new skill and potentially enjoying a new experience. We often encounter similar situations in our lives where fear of failure or the unknown stops us from trying something new. However, by confronting these fears, we open up opportunities for personal development and success. Secondly, the story highlights the importance of gaining experience through practice. Nasruddin wanted to learn swimming without getting into the water, which is impossible. This part of the story underscores the idea that theoretical knowledge alone is not enough. Practical experience is essential. Whether it's learning a new language, mastering a musical instrument, or developing professional skills, the principle remains the same. We learn best by doing. Engaging directly with the task allows us to make mistakes, learn from them, and improve over time. Nasruddin's predicament serves as a reminder that the path to acquiring new skills and knowledge often involves stepping out of our comfort zones and embracing the challenges that come with it. It also teaches us that waiting for the perfect moment or conditions can lead to missed opportunities. Sometimes the best way to learn is to jump right in, even if it feels intimidating. Ultimately, Nasruddin's story is a metaphor for many of life's pursuits. It encourages us to take the plunge, face our fears, and understand that real learning happens through action. By doing so, we not only gain new skills but also build resilience and confidence. So the next time you find yourself hesitating to try something new, remember Nasruddin and the lesson that waiting for the perfect conditions might mean never starting at all. Take that first step and you might be surprised at what you can achieve. 44. The Power of Perspective in Words. A lesson from an emperor's dream. Have you ever wondered how much our perspective and the words we choose can shape our reality? In this intriguing story about an emperor and his dream, you'll discover how two interpreters gave the same message but in very different ways. One was punished, and the other was richly rewarded. This tale reveals the surprising impact of how we say things and how we choose to see the world. Once, an emperor dreamed that all his teeth fell out. When he woke up, he immediately called for a dream interpreter to explain the meaning of his dream. "Oh, what misfortune," said the dream interpreter. "Each tooth that fell out represents the loss of a loved one." "What? How dare you?" the emperor exclaimed angrily. "How dare you bring such bad news to me? Get out!" Then he ordered, "Someone, give him 50 lashes." Not long after, another dream interpreter arrived. After hearing about the emperor's dream, he said, "Your Majesty, you are very fortunate. You will live longer than all your relatives." The emperor, pleased, said, "Well done, I grant you 50 gold coins. Follow my servant to receive your reward." On their way, the servant asked the dream interpreter, "Why was your interpretation different from the previous one?" The dream interpreter replied, "The same problem can be interpreted in many different ways. It all depends on how you say it." He then happily accepted the money and went home. Conclusion. The story of the emperor and his dream teaches us two vital lessons that can greatly impact our daily lives: the power of perspective and the influence of words. These lessons are not only relevant in the context of ancient tales but also in our modern world, shaping our personal and professional relationships. Firstly, perspective matters. How we choose to view a situation can drastically change our emotional response and subsequent actions. In the story, the first interpreter saw the emperor's dream as a series of losses, which led to a negative reaction. On the other hand, the second interpreter viewed the same dream from a different angle, focusing on the emperor's long life. This positive perspective not only pleased the emperor, but also led to a rewarding outcome. In our lives, adopting a positive outlook can help us handle challenges better, build resilience, and improve our overall well-being. By choosing to see the silver lining, we can transform potential setbacks into opportunities for growth. Secondly, the way we communicate. Our choice of words holds immense power. Words can comfort, inspire, and build relationships, but they can also hurt, discourage, and destroy. The two dream interpreters conveyed the same message but in entirely different ways. The first interpreter's blunt approach led to punishment, while the second interpreter's tactful and positive wording earned him a reward. This underscores the importance of thoughtful communication. Whether we are giving feedback, sharing news, or simply conversing, the way we phrase our words can make a significant difference. By choosing our words carefully, we can foster understanding, build stronger connections, and create a more positive environment. In conclusion, the story of the Emperor's Dream serves as a powerful reminder of the impact of perspective and the influence of words. By adopting a positive outlook and communicating thoughtfully, we can navigate life's challenges more effectively and build more meaningful relationships. These timeless lessons are keys to leading a more fulfilling and harmonious life. 45. The Orchard Lesson, a tale of honesty and moral guidance. Have you ever wondered what truly defines a person's character? Imagine a father tempted to steal ripe fruits from an orchard, only to be reminded by his child about a path unseen by the eyes. This simple yet profound moment in the orchard reveals powerful lessons about integrity and the unexpected wisdom children can offer. Join us as we explore this touching story that might just change the way you see everyday choices and the influence of young voices. A father was walking through an orchard with his 3 children when he noticed ripe fruits hanging from the trees. Tempted to steal some, he instructed his children to keep watch at 3 different entrances to the orchard. As he began picking the fruits, one of his children spoke up. "Dad, there's still one path not being watched." Surprised, the father asked, "What do you mean? There are only 3 paths here." The child replied, "There's also the path that leads to heaven." Hearing this, the father blushed with shame. He dropped all the fruits he had gathered and hurriedly led his children back home. In conclusion, the story of the father and his children in the orchard provides us with 2 significant life lessons that resonate deeply with our everyday experiences. Firstly, it underscores the importance of integrity and honesty. The father's initial temptation to steal the fruits is something many of us can relate to in different forms, whether it's cutting corners at work, telling a small lie, or taking something that doesn't belong to us. The child's reminder about the path to heaven serves as a powerful metaphor for the idea that there is always an unseen observer, our conscience. It prompts us to think twice about our actions and encourages us to maintain our integrity even when no one is watching. Secondly, the story highlights the profound influence children can have on adults. Often we think of teaching and guidance as something that flows from older to younger generations. However, this story flips that notion on its head, showing us that children can be powerful moral compasses. The child's simple yet wise observation reminds the father of his values and prompts a moment of self-reflection and change. This illustrates that wisdom and moral guidance can come from unexpected places, and it's important to be open to learning from those around us, regardless of their age. The father's reaction, blushing with shame and immediately abandoning his plan, demonstrates the immediate and transformative impact that a moment of moral clarity can have. It's a reminder that it's never too late to correct our mistakes and choose the right path. This story encourages us to listen to the voices of those who remind us of our better selves and to act with integrity, even in small, everyday situations. By doing so, we not only improve our own character but also set a positive example for others, especially the younger generation who look up to us. In essence, the Orchard lesson teaches us that integrity and moral guidance are timeless values that transcend age. It encourages us to act with honesty, embrace the wisdom that comes from unexpected places, and always strive to do the right thing, no matter the circumstances.
If you like this video, please comment 1, and if you don't, comment 2. Your feedback means a lot to us. Thank you for your valuable time.
46. The Humble Archer, a lesson in mastery and humility. Have you ever wondered what it takes to become a true master at something? Or how even the most skilled individuals can learn from the most unexpected sources? The story of Tran Engyu II, a renowned archer, and an old oil seller offers a fascinating insight into these questions. Through a simple yet profound encounter, this tale reveals the secrets behind mastery and the importance of humility. Stay with us to discover the valuable lessons Tran Engyu II learned that changed his perspective on skill and practice forever. Long ago, there was a man named Tran Engyu II who was an exceptional archer, considered the top marksman of his time. Each time Tran Engyu II practiced his shooting, many people would come to watch. Truly skilled, Engyu II's archery was not only accurate with every shot, but also powerful, earning applause from everyone. However, there was an old oil seller who shook his head, indicating he was unimpressed. Seeing this, Tran Engyu II asked him, "Do you know how to shoot?" "I do not," the oil seller shook his head and replied. "Although you shoot very well, there's nothing special about it in my opinion. It's just a matter of getting used to it." Tran Engyu II angrily said, "Old man, you don't know how to shoot yet you look down on others. What's the reason for that?" "Please, calm down, young man," the old man responded calmly and unafraid. "I am an oil seller. I can pour oil without spilling a single drop. If you don't believe me, I'll show you." The oil seller placed a gourd on the ground and put a coin on its mouth. Then he poured oil through a hole in the middle of the coin. He continued until the gourd was full, yet the coin remained clean, without a single drop of oil on it. "See, there's nothing special about doing this. It's just a matter of practice," the oil seller said, looking up and smiling at Engyu II. From that day on, Engyu II no longer boasted about his skills. Conclusion. The story of Tran Engyu II and the old oil seller leaves us with two powerful lessons that are relevant in all aspects of life. Firstly, it highlights that mastery comes from practice. Tran Engyu II's remarkable archery skills were not the result of innate talent alone, but were honed through countless hours of practice. Similarly, the old oil seller's ability to pour oil through a coin without spilling a drop was achieved through repeated effort over many years. This lesson reminds us that consistent practice and dedication are essential to achieving excellence in any field. Whether it's a sport, a craft, or a profession, the more we practice, the more proficient we become. It is through persistence and hard work that we can reach the pinnacle of our abilities. Secondly, the story teaches us the importance of humility and continuous learning. Despite being a top marksman, Tran Engyu II initially reacted with anger and pride when the old oil seller critiqued his skill. However, witnessing the oil seller's demonstration of his own expertise, Tran Engyu II realized that every skill, no matter how impressive, can always be improved and appreciated. This moment of humility led him to understand that learning is a lifelong journey and that we can gain valuable insights from anyone, regardless of their background or profession. It's a reminder that no matter how accomplished we become, maintaining a humble attitude and staying open to learning from others will only enhance our growth and development. In essence, the story of Tran Engyu II encourages us to embrace the process of continuous practice and to remain humble in our achievements. By doing so, we not only improve our own skills but also gain a deeper appreciation for the skills and efforts of others. Let this story inspire you to keep practicing, stay humble, and always be open to learning from those around you. 47. When more means less, a lesson from the centipede. Have you ever wished for more thinking it would make your life better? Imagine a centipede that asked for more legs, believing it would help it run faster. Instead, it found itself moving slower than ever. Curious about how this happened? This story will make you rethink the idea that more always means better and teach you a valuable lesson about being careful with what you wish for. When God created the centipede, He didn't give it any legs, but it could still crawl as fast as a snake. One day, the centipede felt unhappy when it saw deer, antelope, and other animals with legs running faster than it. It thought, obviously, the more legs you have, the faster you can run. So it asked God, God, I want to have more legs than any other creature. God agreed to its request. He presented a large number of legs and allowed the centipede to choose freely. But the centipede took them and attached them all over its body, from head to tail, until there was no space left to attach any more legs. Only then did it reluctantly stop. It looked at the many legs on its body and thought happily, now I can zoom fast like an arrow. However, when it tried to run, it quickly discovered that it couldn't control all those legs. Each leg seemed to want to go in a different direction. Therefore, after each step, it had to stop and gather its legs together before it could take another step, which made it much slower than before. Conclusion: the story of the centipede teaches us two important lessons that are especially relevant in today's fast-paced, success-driven world. First, it reminds us that more isn't always better. The centipede thought that having more legs would make it the fastest creature in the forest. Instead, the additional legs slowed it down and made it more difficult to move. This mirrors our own lives, where we often believe that acquiring more money, more possessions, more responsibilities, will lead to greater happiness and success. However, we can end up overwhelmed and less effective. Just like the centipede, simplicity and focusing on using what we already have can often lead to better outcomes. Second, the centipede story highlights the importance of being careful about what we wish for. The centipede asked for more legs without considering the consequences. It didn't anticipate the difficulties that would come with managing so many legs. In our lives, we sometimes desire things without fully understanding the potential downsides. Whether it's a new job, a bigger house, or more commitments, getting what we want can sometimes create new problems. It's crucial to think carefully and consider all aspects before making significant changes or seeking new additions to our lives. These lessons are timeless and universal. They apply to personal ambitions, professional goals, and even our daily choices. By appreciating what we have and carefully evaluating our desires, we can avoid unnecessary complications and find more satisfaction in our lives. The centipede story encourages us to embrace simplicity and make thoughtful decisions, ensuring that our pursuit of more doesn't lead to unexpected challenges. So the next time you find yourself wishing for something more, remember the centipede. Reflect on whether having more will truly improve your situation, or if it's better to appreciate and optimize what you already have. In doing so, you'll likely find a path that is not only more manageable, but also more fulfilling. 48. The True Test of Generosity. A story that will make you rethink giving. Have you ever wondered what it really means to be generous? Imagine being asked to give up something you own. Sounds easy, right? But what if it's something you use every day? This story about a man and his pastor will challenge your ideas about generosity and make you question how willing you are to make small sacrifices in your daily life. Stay tuned to discover the true meaning of giving. A sermon by the pastor deeply moved one of the congregants. After the sermon, he told the pastor that he would willingly dedicate everything to God. The pastor asked, "If you had 2 cars, would you donate one?" "Yes," he agreed. The pastor asked again, "If you had 2 houses, would you donate one?" "Yes," he agreed. Then the pastor asked a very simple question. "If you had 2 pairs of shoes, would you donate one?" This time the man answered, "No." Surprised, the pastor asked, "Why not?" The man explained, "Because I don't have 2 cars or 2 houses, but I do have 2 pairs of shoes." Conclusion. This story about the pastor and the congregant teaches us profound lessons about generosity and sacrifice. When the man enthusiastically agreed to give up cars and houses, he was thinking in abstract terms. These were things he didn't own, so it was easy for him to imagine giving them away. However, when asked to part with 1 pair of his own shoes, something he actually possessed and used, he hesitated. This hesitation reveals a crucial truth. True generosity is not about grand gestures with hypothetical resources, but about small, everyday sacrifices that impact our lives directly. In our daily lives, we often find ourselves making promises to help others in big ways, especially when those promises are distant and abstract. However, when it comes to the small, tangible acts of giving, we may struggle. This is because real giving involves a personal cost. It requires us to part with something we value, something that we might use or need. This story encourages us to reflect on our own attitudes toward generosity. Are we only willing to give when it doesn't hurt, or are we prepared to make real sacrifices? True generosity starts with what we have, no matter how small. It's about sharing our resources, whether it's a pair of shoes, a meal, or our time. It's the willingness to part with something we value for the sake of others. Moreover, this story highlights the importance of everyday acts of kindness. Grand gestures are important, but it's the small, consistent acts of giving that truly make a difference. When we give from what we have, we build a habit of generosity that extends beyond theoretical promises. In conclusion, let this story inspire you to practice real generosity. Start with what you have and make small sacrifices. Remember, true giving isn't about the size of the gift, but the willingness to part with what we value. Let's challenge ourselves to be truly generous in our everyday lives, one small act of kindness at a time. 49. The magic of working together. How a simple rock made the best soup ever. Have you ever wondered how something as ordinary as a rock could create the best soup a village has ever tasted? This intriguing story shows how the power of collaboration and small contributions can transform the simplest things into something extraordinary. Join us to find out how a stranger's clever trick brought a community together, turning a pot of water into a heartwarming feast. In a small village, a person dressed in unusual clothes told a group of women, "I have a magical rock that turns into a delicious soup when cooked with water. Don't believe me? I'll make it for you all to try." Hearing this, one woman brought out a large pot and another fetched a big bucket of water. They gathered some wood and started cooking in the middle of the village square. The stranger carefully placed the rock into the pot of water, stirred gently, and tasted it, nodding in approval. "Yum! It's good, but it would be even better with a little onion." Immediately, someone went home and brought back some onions. The stranger tasted the soup again. Delicious, but adding some meat would make it even more flavorful. Soon, another person rushed home to fetch some meat. "If we add some vegetables, it would be perfect," suggested the stranger. As the cooking continued, each tasting led to another addition. Someone brought salt, another brought sauce, and more ingredients followed. Finally, as everyone enjoyed their bowls of soup, they realized it was the best they had ever tasted. It turned out the rock was just an ordinary stone the stranger had found on the road. In reality, when we all willingly contribute, anyone can make a delicious soup. When you contribute to it, united in effort, the soup becomes part of everyone's heart. Conclusion. This story from a small village teaches us valuable lessons about the power of collaboration and the impact of small contributions. At first, it seemed impossible that a simple rock could turn into delicious soup. But as each person added a little something, the soup became a flavorful feast enjoyed by everyone. The stranger's clever trick revealed an important truth. When people come together and share what they have, amazing things can happen. This concept is very relevant in our daily lives. Whether we are working on a project at work, participating in community activities, or even supporting friends and family, our combined efforts can create something much greater than we could achieve alone. In American culture, we often emphasize the importance of individual effort and self-reliance. While these qualities are valuable, this story reminds us that teamwork and cooperation are just as crucial. By working together, we can overcome challenges and reach new heights. Each person's small contribution is like an ingredient in the soup. It might seem insignificant on its own, but when combined with others, it becomes part of something wonderful. Moreover, this story encourages us to appreciate the little things. Small acts of kindness, bits of help, and shared resources can make a big difference. The next time you face a daunting task or feel like your contribution is too small to matter, remember the magical soup. Your efforts, no matter how small, can be the key ingredient that makes everything come together. In the end, the best soup wasn't about the rock at all. It was about the community's willingness to share and work together. Let's take this lesson to heart and strive to contribute positively to our communities. By doing so, we can create a world where everyone's contributions are valued, and together we can make something truly special. 50. How perspective and gender roles shape our judgments. Ever wondered how the same situation can be viewed so differently by different people, or how societal expectations shape our attitudes towards the roles men and women play in relationships? In a simple yet powerful story, we explore how perspective and gender roles influence our judgments. Join us as we dive into the tale of two women in a park, each describing a similar scenario in vastly different ways. This story might just change the way you see the world around you. Two women were chatting in a park when one asked the other, "How's your son doing?" "Oh, don't even mention it. It's just unfortunate," the other woman lamented. "He's so pitiful, married to a lazy wife who doesn't cook, doesn't clean, doesn't do laundry, doesn't look after the kids, just eats and sleeps all day. Every morning my son has to bring her breakfast in bed." She then burst into tears. After a while, she turned and asked, "And how about your daughter?" "My daughter is very lucky," the woman happily exclaimed. "She married a wonderful man who doesn't let her do any housework. He takes care of everything like cooking, cleaning, laundry, and watching the kids, and even brings her breakfast in bed every morning." In conclusion, the story of the two women in the park sheds light on the profound impact that perspective and societal expectations have on our judgments. The contrasting views of the two mothers about their children's marriages reveal how deeply our attitudes are shaped by how we choose to see things. The first woman views her son's efforts as burdensome, while the second woman sees her daughter's similar situation as a blessing. This stark difference underscores the power of perspective in shaping our reality. It suggests that changing our viewpoint can transform our experiences from negative to positive, simply by choosing to focus on different aspects of the same situation. Furthermore, the story highlights the influence of traditional gender roles and societal expectations. The son's role as a caregiver is seen as pitiable, while the husband's actions are praised. This double standard reflects the entrenched gender norms that dictate how we view and value the contributions of men and women differently. It calls attention to the need for a more equitable view of roles within relationships, where both men's and women's efforts are equally appreciated and respected. By recognizing the biases in our perspectives and the influence of societal expectations, we can work towards more balanced and fair judgments. This story encourages us to question our own viewpoints and consider how they might be shaped by cultural norms and personal biases. It also invites us to appreciate the efforts of others, regardless of gender, and to adopt a more positive and inclusive outlook on life. Ultimately, this tale serves as a reminder that our perceptions and attitudes are powerful tools that can shape our experiences and relationships. By choosing to see the good in situations and appreciating the contributions of all individuals, we can create a more compassionate and understanding world. If you find these stories inspiring and they motivate you to take action, please comment 9. If not, comment 0. Your feedback means a lot to us. Thank you for your valuable time.